Australia government on Wednesday filed 59 charges against the only surviving suspect, Naveed Akram, who is one of the suspected persons allegedly responsible for the mass shooting at Bondi Beach in the city of Sydney targeting Jewish people on the Jews' first day to mark this year's Hanukkah festival, which led to the killing of 16 persons, including a married couple who was said initially tried to disarm one of the attackers before the husband and wife were killed, children aged 10 and above, and the suspect father and co-perpetrator, Sajid Akram, who was killed on the spot by the police, and 41 others including police officers and the bystander, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, who disarmed the 50-year-old one of the gunmen. Some of the 20 of the injured persons are still in critical condition in the hospital based on statement issued on Wednesday by local authority in Sydney. This, according to the New South Wales Police Force in a statement published on its website on Wednesday. The suspect was brought before the court, following extensive inquiries under Operation Arcs. Today, Wednesday the 17th of December, New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team, JCTT investigators attended a hospital where they charged a 24-year-old Bondi man with 59 offences, including commit terrorist act, 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of cause wounding, grievous bodily harm to person with intent to murder, discharge firearm, intent cause grievous bodily harm, cause public display of prohibited terrorist organization symbol, place explosive in near building with intent cause harm, and the court adjourned the case to April 2026 after the suspect made first appearance from his hospital bed before the Bail Division Local Court 7 via audio-visual link, AVL. The suspect was critically injured during the incident on Sunday, and had his first hearing from his hospital bedside, the local New South Wales court said. Earlier on Wednesday, New South Wales Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon said they were waiting for medication to wear off before formally questioning Akram. For his fairness, we need him to understand what is exactly happening, Lanyon said. Police have designated the attack a terrorist incident, with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese saying it appears to have been motivated by Islamic State group ideology. Police said, homemade Islamic State group flags and improvised explosive devices, IEDs, have been found in the vehicle used by the gunman. According to the New South Wales Police Force, the New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team has formally charged a 24-year-old man alleged to be one of 2 gunmen responsible for the Bondi Beach mass shooting that claimed the lives of 15 people. About 6:40 p.m. on Sunday the 14th of December 2025, emergency services were called to Bondi Beach following reports of a public place shooting. Officers attached to Eastern Suburbs Police Area Command, surrounding commands, and specialist police responded and located 2 men using long arms to fire into crowds of people. Multiple officers exchanged fire with the gunman, and 2 officers, a constable and probationary constable, suffered gunshot wounds. During the incident, 1 gunman, a 50-year-old man, was shot by police and died at the scene. The second gunman, his 24-year-old son, suffered critical injuries and was taken to hospital under police guard. 15 people died during the attack, with 41 people, including 4 children, taken to hospital. There are currently 20 patients continuing to receive care across several Sydney hospitals. Those who died are still in the process of being formally identified. However, police believe their ages range between 10 and 87. Of the 2 injured officers, the constable is in a critical but stable condition, while the probationary constable is in a stable condition. New South Wales, NSW Police Commissioner, Mal Lanyon APM declared the incident terror-related, and the investigation was referred to the NSW Joint Counter-Terrorism Team, JCCT, under Operation Arcs. The NSW-JCTT comprises members from the NSW Police Force, Australian Federal Police, Australian Security Intelligence Organisation and the NSW Crime Commission. Following extensive inquiries under Operation Arcs, today, Wednesday the 17th of December, JCTT investigators attended a hospital where they charged a 24-year-old Bondi man with 59 offences, including commit terrorist act, 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of cause wounding, grievous bodily harm to person with intent to murder, discharge firearm etc. intend cause grievous bodily harm, cause public display of prohibited terrorist org symbol, place explosive in, near building with intent cause harm. Police will allege in court the man engaged in conduct that caused death, serious injury and endangered life to advance a religious cause and cause fear in the community. Early indications point to a terrorist attack inspired by ISIS, a listed terrorist organization in Australia. He remains in hospital under police guard to face bail. Division Local Court 7 via AVL today. Anyone with information about extremist activity or possible threats to the community should come forward, no matter how small or insignificant you may think the information may be. The National Security Hotline is 1-800-123-400. On the state of one of the police officers shot during the attack, the New South Wales Police Force published a statement issued on behalf of the family of Jack Hibbert, probationary constable injured during Bondi shooting on Wednesday the 17th of December 2025 around 11 hours 58 minutes and 48 seconds am local Australia time, which indicated thus, on the 14th of December, Jack Hibbert was shot while fulfilling his role as a police officer at Bondi Beach. While serving and protecting the community, Jack sustained 2 bullet wounds, one to his head and another to his shoulder. Jack was on duty, patrolling the Hanukkah celebration interacting with the community at Bondi Beach, when the incident first occurred. Jack was taken to ICU where he was intubated and underwent multiple surgeries. Although miraculously surviving, Jack's injuries have resulted in a loss of vision in one of his eyes and he now faces a long and challenging recovery ahead, with additional surgeries required. Jack is just 22 years old and has only been in the police force for 4 months. Even so, in the face of a violent and tragic incident, he responded with courage, instinct, and selflessness, continuing to protect and help others whilst injured, until he was physically no longer able to. Jack was simply doing his job, a job he deeply loves, driven by a commitment to protect the community, even at great personal cost. Many of his colleagues who were present on the night of the incident have visited in hospital and given testaments to Jack's bravery during the incident, describing his devotion to his community. They described how Jack acted. He moved toward people in need, not away from danger, and continued helping others while seriously injured. The support from the police force and hospital staff has been unmatched and we are beyond grateful. We thank the wider community for their kindness, support, and prayers for Jack and our family during this difficult time. We ask all to respect our privacy as we move through these next stages to support Jack and all his needs to a full recovery.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Israeli government has blamed the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, over the father and son terrorist act of mass shooting in Bondi Beach on Sunday evening around 6:47 p.m. in accordance with Australia local time, leading to the killing of 16 persons including one of the suspected terrorists and a 10-year-old girl, and 42 others sustained injuries according to the Premier of New South Wales State, Christopher Minns, when members of the Jewish community in the Sydney City of Australia came out in large numbers on day 1 to celebrate this year's Hanukkah festival. The Israeli government through the video statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, during government meeting in Dimona and when he lit the first Hanukkah candle in Israel later on Sunday, said, "There may be more terrorist attacks on the Jewish people because the Australia government is weak. We know there will be additional attacks. The safest place for the Jewish people in the world is where the government, the army, and the security forces will defend them," saying, on August 17, 2025, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Australia wherein he said, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. In a tweet posted through his personal verified X social media account few hours ago, Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said, "In moments like this, we must come together. Australia stands united against hatred and terror." Speaking during the news conference on Sunday, Australia's Home Minister, Tony Burke, gave more details about the gunmen, who happened to be father and son, Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. He says the father arrived in Australia in 1998 on a student visa. The son, who we know is Naveed Akram, is an Australian-born citizen. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed at the scene, taking the total number of dead to 16, while his 24-year-old son is in a critical condition in hospital. Local media reported that both men pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, adding that Naveed first came to authorities' attention in October 2019, but the Australian Prime Minister said an assessment was made that there was no indication of any ongoing threat or threat of him engaging in violence. His father arrived in Australia on a student visa in 1998, which was transferred in 2001 to a partner visa and later resident return visas. Meanwhile, the man who tackled one of the gunmen to the floor and saved people from getting shot at Bondi Beach in Australia was identified as Ahmed Al-Ahmed. He was shot during the incident and is currently recuperating in a hospital. New South Wales State Premier Christopher Minns said in numbers of posts between Sunday and Monday that, "Tonight, I made the decision to light the Sydney Opera House with candles on the menorah, marking the second day of Hanukkah. In the wake of this horrific attack, it is more important than ever that the Jewish community in New South Wales knows they do not stand alone. We cannot, and we will not allow Jewish Australians to feel they must hide their faith, their traditions, their religious celebrations or their identity. Lighting the Opera House is a simple but powerful gesture, a message to the world that we cherish our Jewish community, that we honor their courage, and that we stand with them in solidarity and love. Tonight, those candles are a symbol of resilience and a reminder that even in darkness, we choose to stand with one another." Ahmed is a real-life hero. Last night, his incredible bravery no doubt saved countless lives when he disarmed a terrorist at enormous personal risk. It was an honor to spend time with him just now and to pass on the thanks of people across New South Wales. There is no doubt that more lives would have been lost if not for Ahmed's selfless courage. Thank you, Ahmed. Tonight, on the second night of the Jewish festival of Hanukkah, we laid wreaths to honor and pay tribute to the victims of the horrific terrorist attack in Bondi and their families. 15 innocent people who lost their lives in a targeted attack against the Jewish community on the first night of their festival of Hanukkah. The monumental outpouring of sympathy, emotions, flowers, and memorial stones is emblematic of the Australian spirit. Even in the face of sheer, wanton violence, we will not be broken. Hanukkah is the Jewish festival of lights. On this, the second night of Hanukkah, we light candles together and unite against the darkness. Today I met with Jewish community leaders to reaffirm that New South Wales stands with them during this incredibly dark time. We are grieving alongside them. This horrific act of violence demands an overwhelming response. Operation Shelter is being strengthened. More than 320 police are being deployed today, and we will continue to increase that number. I want to be clear, especially for our Jewish community, that New South Wales police are there to protect them, to keep them safe, and that they have every right to celebrate their faith and enjoy this festive period free from the fear and sorrow caused by this terrible violence. It is my sad duty to update that 15 innocent victims are confirmed deceased following the horrific, targeted attack on the Jewish community at Bondi Beach. I want to be crystal clear that we strongly repudiate anti-Semitism in all of its forms, and there is no tolerance for racism or hatred in New South Wales or Australia. And we will wrap our arms around the Jewish community and let them know that every Australian stands with them. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a video press release during the government meeting in Dimona on Sunday, said, on August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man. Turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you are not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere. Because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent. We fight those who try to annihilate us. They're not only trying to annihilate us, they attack us because they attack the West. In Syria we saw yesterday 2 American soldiers killed and 1 American interpreter killed as well. Killed because they represent our common culture. Now, as a result of this, Secretary of War Peter Hegseth said the following. He said, let it be known that if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you and ruthlessly kill you. We send our condolences to the people of America, and I want to say that our policy is exactly that policy. That's why those who target Israelis, target our soldiers, try to kill them or try to hurt them and wound them, as happened in Gaza yesterday, we take action. They will spend the rest of the brief anxious lives knowing that Israel will hunt them, find them and ruthlessly dispose of them. That is American policy. This is Israel's policy. It's our policy in Gaza, in Lebanon, anywhere around us. We do not sit by and let these killers kill us. Also said, during the ceremony, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah Netanyahu, at the National Police Academy, lit the first Hanukkah candle together with National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and his wife Ayala, and the Israel Police Inspector General, Danny Levy, at the Hanukkah ceremony that was attended by the family of the National Counterterrorism Unit fighter, Master Sergeant Ran Givili, of blessed memory, who fought bravely on October 7th and was taken hostage to Gaza, Israel Police Chief Rabbi Rami Berekyahu, the senior police command staff, and male and female police officers, according to the news release made available by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, that we will bring Ran back, just as we brought back 254 out of our 255 abductees. Some did not believe. I believe. My friends in the government believed. They said, it will be a miracle. I said, this nation performs miracles. The Holy One, blessed be He, helps a people who help themselves. We are a people who have learned to help ourselves, because we knew that in times of distress, it is not certain that anyone else will help us. This was largely our fate in exile, with waves of anti-Semitism that kept returning, rising, returning, rising, and returning, rising. What changed with the establishment of the State of Israel was not the disappearance of anti-Semitism but our ability to repel the massacres and mass murders against Jews, which always followed numerous accusations, lies, and insults. That is the change. Even today, they try to murder, and sadly, even today they succeeded in murdering Jews. They massacred Jews in Sydney, Australia. 4 months ago, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Australia. I told him, your policy encourages terrorism. It encourages anti-Semitism. You call for a Palestinian state, and you are essentially giving a prize to Hamas for the terrible massacre they carried out on October 7th. You are legitimizing all these rioters and you are not lifting a finger to eliminate these terror hotspots. This will lead to more murders. He did nothing. We know there will be additional attacks. The safest place for the Jewish people in the world is where the government, the army, and the security forces will defend them. That is first and foremost in the state of Israel, because we defend ourselves, and we defend ourselves with the help of the IDF, with the help of the security forces, and with the help of the brave male and female officers of the Israel police. Honored guests and friends, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, his wife Ayala, the Police Inspector General, the Command Staff, and the Academy graduates, you were on the first line of defense on October 7th. I do not forget that. I was on the line and I saw the line of the heroes and heroines, the female police officers who fought and fell, and the male police officers who fought and fell. A tremendous hero, Ran Givili, simply fought until the last bullet with a broken arm, but with an unwavering spirit. Somehow we returned to our land after the exile imposed upon us. And the first thing we had to renew was our capacity for self-defense. This is what we have been doing over the past 2 years with renewed vigor and great success. We essentially represent the free world, modern civilization, against the barbarians who want to return us to the Middle Ages. That is what they want. And like in the days of the Maccabees, they hesitate, the few against the many. We are a nation of about 10 million against many, against the enemies who only recently fought us as 200 million. True, they attacked us, they caused us an unbearable disaster on October 7th, but on October 8th, it already turned around. We went and struck them clockwise. First in Gaza, then in Lebanon, then in Syria, also in Iraq, and above all, in Iran. No one believed in the miracles and wonders in those days and in this time. But we believed, you believe. I want to commend you, police officers of Israel. Continue to believe, continue to safeguard us and also safeguard one another. Thank you very much on behalf of the people of Israel throughout the generations. Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, in a post tweeted on his X social media platform a few hours ago, said, "In moments like this, we must come together. Australia stands united against hatred and terror." In numbers of tweets since the attack on Sunday, the Australia Prime Minister said, "Tonight and over the coming days, we are holding the Jewish community close. For the 8 nights of Hanukkah, Jewish families around the world fill their windows with light, something that has been passed down through generations. Tonight, I am lighting a candle in solidarity with the Australian Jewish community. Because when anti-Semitism and hate rears its ugly head, we don't shy away. We will confront the darkness with light. Together, today I convened National Cabinet to respond to the act of terror and anti-Semitism in Bondi last night. We stand with Jewish Australians and we stand against hatred and violence. Australia is stronger than those who try to divide us, and we will come through this together." The dedication and commitment of police officers was on full display last night, when off-duty officers turned up to Bondi to help. They are the best of Australia. I received a briefing at Bondi Police Station and was able to thank many officers personally. Thank you to all our police for your courage and your service. Australia will not be divided by hate or violence. We will confront it head-on. And we will stand together in solidarity with Jewish Australians and with one another. Yesterday was a dark day in our nation's history. But we are stronger than the cowards who did this. We refuse to let them divide us. Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come through this together. We had reported that not less than 11 persons, said to be mostly from the Jewish community and police officers, were shot dead by terrorists on Sunday at Bondi Beach in the Sydney city of Australia, as thousands came out to mark this year Hanukkah or Hanukkah festival, a festival that is known as the Jewish Festival of Lights, usually an 8-day winter celebration marking event of the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and a miraculous long-lasting oil supply, observed by lighting candles on a menorah, Chanukya, and reciting special prayers, and eating oily foods like latkes and safganiyat, which symbolizes Jewish resilience and freedom. The terrorists attacked the Jewish community on the first day of the festival after Israel government had on Saturday authorized the killing of a senior Hamas commander, Raad Saadu Israel, through a statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, stated that, in recent days, Raad Saad had been engaged in rehabilitating the terrorist organization, planning and carrying out attacks against Israel and rebuilding an attack force, in blatant violation of the ceasefire rules and Hamas's commitments to adhere to the US President Donald Trump's plan, stating, instead of promoting demilitarization, he was engaged in rearming for acts of terrorism. Although Israel government has not issued any statement since the Sunday attacks on Jewish community in Sydney as at the time of filing in this news report on Sunday, but Hamas in a news report published by Al Jazeera confirmed that Saad had since been killed by Israeli soldiers in the Gaza city of Palestine. One of the video footages of the Sunday attack on the Jewish community in Sydney showed a moment an apparent very brave man disarmed one of the gunmen during the mass shooting, overpowered the suspected terrorist, collected the gun and turned the gun against the suspected terrorist without shooting him, and the suspect gets away, then joins another suspected terrorist shooter who continues firing from a bridge.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Not less than 11 persons said to be mostly from the Jewish community and police officers were shot dead by terrorists on Sunday at Bondi Beach in the Sydney city of Australia as thousands came out to mark this year Hanukkah or Hanukkah festival, a festival that is known as the Jewish Festival of Lights, usually an 8-day winter celebration marking event of the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and a miraculous long-lasting oil supply, observed by lighting candles on a menorah, Chanukya, and reciting special prayers, and eating oily foods like latkes and safganiyat, which symbolizes Jewish resilience and freedom. The terrorists attacked the Jewish community on the first day of the festival after Israel government had on Saturday authorized the killing of a senior Hamas commander, Raad Saadu Israel, through a statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, stated that, in recent days, Raad Saad had been engaged in rehabilitating the terrorist organization, planning and carrying out attacks against Israel and rebuilding an attack force, in blatant violation of the ceasefire rules and Hamas's commitments to adhere to the US President Donald Trump's plan, stating, instead of promoting demilitarization, he was engaged in rearming for acts of terrorism. Although Israel government has not issued any statement since the Sunday attacks on Jewish community in Sydney as at the time of filing in this news report on Sunday, but Hamas in a news report published by Al Jazeera confirmed that Saad had since been killed by Israeli soldiers in the Gaza city of Palestine. One of the video footages of the Sunday attack on the Jewish community in Sydney showed a moment an apparent very brave man disarmed one of the gunmen during the mass shooting, overpowered the suspected terrorist, collected the gun and turned the gun against the suspected terrorist without shooting him, and the suspect gets away, then joins another suspected terrorist shooter who continues firing from a bridge. New South Wales Police declared the shooting as an act of terrorism, and the New South Wales Police Commissioner, Mal Lanyon, said an improvised explosive device was found in a car at the Bondi Beach, linked to the deceased perpetrator. The police commissioner added that a rescue and bomb disposal unit has been deployed to the scene. Local media reported that an emergency services transported 8 injured people to hospital after providing urgent treatment on site, and 11 persons have been confirmed dead by the local authority. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called the scenes shocking and distressing, and said police and medical teams are continuing efforts to protect lives as the investigation develops. The police confirmed that there are 2 known suspects. One is dead while the other is in a life-threatening condition in hospital. Officers are currently investigating whether there was a third perpetrator involved in the attack. An improvised explosive device was found in a car at Bondi, which was linked to the deceased perpetrator. We'll bring you the latest updates as we get them. The man who was seen in footage wresting a firearm from one of the shooters at Bondi Beach has been praised as a genuine hero by the New South Wales State Premier, Christopher John Minns. The State Premier, Christopher Minns, said at a press conference on Sunday that, "It's the most unbelievable scene I've ever seen. A man walking up to a gunman who had fired on the community and single-handedly disarming him, putting his own life at risk to save the lives of countless others. That man is a genuine hero, and I've got no doubt that there are many, many people alive tonight as a result of his bravery." Christopher John Minns had, in some hours before the attack, stated on his personal Facebook wall that Hanukkah is the festival of lights, and I know those of us in the Jewish community will be taking this opportunity to be with family and friends, light the Hanukkah candles, sing traditional songs, and eat latkes and jam donuts. New South Wales has been the home for Jewish people ever since 8 Jews sailed here on the First Fleet. You have made an enormous, positive, sustained contribution to this country. And thank you for sharing your light with us here in New South Wales. Happy Hanukkah. The Office of the Prime Minister of Israel on Saturday published a joint statement by the Israeli Prime Minister and the Defense Minister which read verbatim below thus. In response to the detonation of a Hamas explosive device that wounded our forces today in the yellow area of the Gaza Strip, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz directed that the senior Hamas terrorist Raad Saad be eliminated. Saad was one of the architects of the October 7th massacre, and in recent days had been engaged in rehabilitating the terrorist organization and in planning and carrying out attacks against Israel and rebuilding an attack force, in blatant violation of the ceasefire rules and Hamas's commitments to adhere to President Trump's plan. Instead of promoting demilitarization, he was engaged in rearming for acts of terrorism. Whoever raises his hand against Israel and harms IDF soldiers, his hand will be cut off in Gaza and everywhere else. On behalf of all the citizens of Israel, the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister wish a speedy recovery to our wounded fighters. Hamas, according to Al Jazeera on Sunday, confirmed the killing of its senior commander in an Israeli strike in Gaza in the highest-profile assassination of a senior Hamas figure since the October ceasefire deal. In the wake of Israel's continued violations, including the latest assassination of Hamas commander Raad Saad just yesterday, we call on the mediators and especially the U.S. administration and U.S. President Donald Trump as the main guarantor of the agreement, to force Israel to respect the ceasefire deal and to implement it, Hamas Gaza chief Khalil al-Hayya said in a video statement on Sunday.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Founder of Sowore Reporters News Media, Omoyele Sowore, on Saturday apparently refused to back down on allegations against the founder and the general overseer of a mega fire ministry, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, over reported cases of alleged paying people to fake miracles and give a chemical substance or injection to Apostle O.C. Benjamin of Fulfiller's House Church to perfect an alleged fake miracle of raising a dead man back to life, an allegation a man simply identified as Apostle Wisdom made while speaking during an interview with Truth Media earlier in the year, which, according to Omoyele Sowore, for Apostle Johnson Suleiman to remove the names of the media that conducted the podcast interview and the person that made the statement in the 1 billion Naira's lawsuit filed against him and Sowore Reporters News Media, shows, Apostle Johnson Suleiman knows the speaker, Apostle Wisdom was probably saying the truth. This, Omoyele Sowore stated in reaction to the statement earlier made by Apostle Johnson Suleiman on his personal social media accounts on Saturday, accusing the founder of Sowore Reporters, Omoyele Sowore, of always trying to play the victim's role that wants to be persecuted for fighting for Nigeria, whenever a case is filed against him in the court of law for passing across false and misleading information to defame someone's character, saying that forgiveness is predicated on the admission of guilt and one cannot forgive someone who has neither acknowledged wrongdoing nor shown remorse. In the podcast interview, Apostle Wisdom alleged that Apostle Benjamin, in conspiracy with some members of his church, hired a man from Enugu State and numbers of other persons who acted as neighbors and family members that brought the hired and paid man to the church program held in a Bondi state as a dead man. According to the Apostle Wisdom, the hired man who pretended to be dead was put inside a coffin and transported from Enugu to a Bondi state with an ambulance. He said the coffin was not covered until the man was brought closer to the church to avoid him being killed out of suffocation. Apostle Wisdom said the initial plan was to inject the hired and paid man with an injection Apostle Suleiman allegedly gave to Apostle Benjamin. Apostle Wisdom added that Apostle Benjamin refused to use the injection because he was afraid that the chemical substance may kill the hired and paid man. Hence, they decided to open the coffin until the time for the fake and staged miracle was to be conducted. To buttress his facts, Apostle Wisdom said the man that was brought as if he was dead to the church program was sweating because the few minutes the man was covered inside the coffin, he suffered some level of heat that made his body start sweating. Sowore, in numbers of statements between Friday and Saturday, said, "For your information, Apostle Suleiman has sued me regarding the controversy surrounding his alleged support for individuals faking miracles during an interview conducted by Car Truth. This lawsuit marks the second occasion Apostle Suleiman has taken legal action against me over contentious decisions made during his ministry, following a previous lawsuit concerning Stephanie Otobo that he later amended and removed Otobo. The case has been ongoing for approximately 8 years, and the most straightforward aspect to prove in court would be the matter of miracles. Apostle Suleiman, this charlatanisms. Who is asking you for forgiveness? You sued me 8 years ago over Stephanie Otobo exposes and later sought to end the lawsuit on the condition that I stop exposing you. I refused. You sent Frank Shebu to plead on your behalf. I told him plainly that the facts were correct. At the time, the Nigeria police force was at your beck and call, arresting whoever you pointed at. That era is over. We ended it completely. You even went as far as offering to stand surety for me when the Muhammadu Buhari regime arrested and detained me for treason. I rejected your Greek gift outright and called you out from detention because I know your style too well. This latest noise is pure bluster. If you were serious about any legal challenge, you would have included the podcaster Car Truth and the individual who alleged that you assisted other pastors in staging fake miracles. You claimed they've apologized and claimed they don't know you. This was a lie. The podcast is very much alive and unretracted. You avoided them because you know where the truth lies. I do not need anyone to tell me that you perform fake miracles. Your staged money alerts to your congregation are well known and long documented. Could you please explain to the public why you amended your lawsuit against me, Sahara reporters, and removed Stephanie Otobo? Was it not because you feared she would testify as my witness, after which you paid her to come apologize before your congregation and then sent her fake alert? Did you not purchase a Mercedes-Benz GLK SUV and a house in the Maryland area of Lagos for a Nollywood actress, Daniela Akeke, and, when we uncovered the receipts, rushed to the Lagos state government to scrub the evidence from the vehicle licensing database website? I am particularly interested in this lawsuit because the time has come for charlatans like you to be confronted before a court of law and compelled to prove your so-called miracles and defend your ways before the courts. After all, you were the one who had sued. I am not the victim here. My concern is for your victims, those whose meager offerings and tithes you have diverted to fund these decadent pursuits. I feel deeply for them, including the Nigeria police force officers who had to perish defending your decadent lifestyle in unarmored vehicles. At the same time, you rode in bulletproof armored cars into safety. Apostle Suleiman, in a statement on Saturday, said, "You Omiyele Sowore have consistently defamed individuals, and whenever you are challenged to substantiate your claims, you retreat under the guise of being persecuted for fighting for Nigeria. No one is attempting to silence you. Rather, the goal is to expose you for the fraud that you are. You Sowore lied and defamed me, dragging my name into a fabricated story involving people I have never met, and you were warned and given ample time to retract the falsehood, but you refused. Why the sudden attempt to play the victim simply because the matter is now in court? I am among those who genuinely believe Nigeria needs cleansing, but not through hypocrisy or deceit. Fair journalism demands that your publications be balanced, verified, and unbiased, qualities you obviously have no regards for. For 8 years, I chose to ignore you. That restraint has now ended. Every further unsubstantiated attack on pastors and churches in Nigeria, driven by your anti-church and anti-pastor agenda, will no longer go without an appropriate legal response. To those calling for forgiveness, understand this clearly. Forgiveness is predicated on the admission of guilt. One cannot forgive someone who has neither acknowledged wrongdoing nor shown remorse. As stated in 1 John 1:9, forgiveness follows confession, not denial. Sowore reporters in a news report over the issue has stated that Apostle Johnson Suleiman, the General Overseer of Omega Fire Ministries International, has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to Sowore reporters, demanding a retraction of a report published in April 2025, and an apology across multiple national newspapers. The cleric is also seeking 1 billion naira in damages over what he describes as malicious and defamatory allegations linking him to a staged resurrection miracle. The dispute stems from claims made by Apostle Wisdom, a self-styled former associate of several Nigerian clergymen, who alleged in a viral interview that Apostle O.C. Benjamin of Fulfiller's House Church staged a fake resurrection using an injection allegedly obtained from Apostle Suleiman. According to Wisdom, the substance was intended to temporarily make a person appear dead for the purpose of performing a miracle at a crusade. The claims were amplified in an April 4, 2025 Sowore Reporters publication titled, Apostle Johnson Suleiman gave Fulfiller's House Churches O.C. Benjamin injection to make someone appear dead for staged resurrection miracle, ex-associate. In the interview granted to the Car Truths podcast, Apostle Wisdom had alleged that the supposed miracle was executed using a hired young man, rented ambulance, purchased casket, and paid actors who posed as grieving relatives. According to him, the scheme was part of a coordinated plan to deceive worshippers during a program in Abakaliki. He claimed that Apostle Benjamin initially intended to use the alleged injection linked to Suleiman but backed out over fears the young man might actually die. My Oga, Apostle O.C. Benjamin, collected injection from Apostle Suleiman, he told me himself, Wisdom said in the interview. He described intricate preparations, paying people to act as family members, transporting the dead body from Enugu State, and staging dramatic confrontations with ushers who initially refused to allow the casket inside the hall. Wisdom narrated how the dead man, shut inside the coffin, endured heat and near suffocation before sneezing at the climax of the performance, triggering wild jubilation from the crowd. The angel in charge of raising the dead was even confused that day because nobody died, he mockingly remarked, describing the atmosphere as both chaotic and deeply manipulative. However, the fallout from the interview has now escalated into a full-blown legal confrontation. In a letter dated April 8, 2025 and addressed to Sowore Reporters publisher, Omiyele Sowore, Suleiman's lawyers, Clement Onwemuna and Company, accused the media platform of propagating outright falsehoods without verifying from the cleric. The letter described the publication as an aggravated libelous assault crafted from the spiral imaginations of a mischief maker and blackmailer whose allegations were spread uncritically. Our client has never met any Apostle O.C. Benjamin, not to talk of giving him injection or substance to inject anyone to stage manage resurrection miracles, the letter stated. Suleiman's lawyers also referenced a new video by Apostle O.C. Benjamin himself, which has reportedly been circulating online. In the video, Benjamin allegedly denies ever meeting Apostle Suleiman, dismissing the claims attributed to Apostle Wisdom as false, fabricated, and malicious. According to Suleiman's legal team, Sowore Reporters' willingness to publish the allegations despite the absence of verification demonstrates a frenzied effort to disparage our client and constitutes the most wicked attack on the towering image of the televangelist. The letter issued a strict 48-hour deadline for Sowore reporters to retract the publication from all online platforms where it appeared and publish a formal apology on the same platforms. Published full-page apologies in Punch, Guardian, Vanguard, Tribune, and Sunday Sun newspapers. Pay 1 billion naira as damages. Failure to meet these conditions, the lawyers said, would compel them to perfect our client's standing instructions, signaling impending litigation. The letter was copied to Apostle Suleiman himself and marked pre-litigation notice.
So while he was deaf and dumb, if they make up the
I don't know.
Was my pastor. One day I was in the minister's.
It's not even that day. Who quickly rushed this guy?
And he was talking. God. He said, I raised the dead.
Who quickly rushed him?
You can raise the dead.
Who will signal Papa, come bring his motor. Hey, you enter motor. I will move.
To do something.
Now small beating will beat him.
Man talking to you has done it.
Small beating. How you manage the makeup?
If he's not done it, then there is an impossibility.
So
Listen to
people
this.
will hear.
He said you can raise the
People
dead.
will hear this guy.
People were shouting. I wasn't shouting. I was crying.
People went and started beating.
When
How
I
can you be deaf and dumb and you are making call?
went straight to the hospital.
Who gave you phone?
I began to look for enter a new ward. I looked at some people.
Who gave you phone? How you manage no phone number?
I enter another ward. I said,
You that's it. Suddenly.
Where is the ward?
I told him is that yes, he forgot. He forgot that he has not finished his work. That his work finished when he motor to go back.
I said, I want to go and pray. He said, my friend.
Lord of Nazareth.
I left there. I was going around. I saw
Oh God.
the young child and the
My
mother.
brother,
They kept
there is nothing like that. Oh. Now we they bring them.
They told the mother to take the
We
child.
have a lot of any. Just bring missionaries.
The child, the white balls had gone inside.
They will come. Even if you want them, okay, like when we raise the dead person.
I said to them,
Sorry, when we acted the dead person, will nobody die? We don't raise anybody.
so I held the baby.
When we acted the dead person.
The baby was not dead. But
The young man
I began to pray.
who hired the ambulance from Enugu State. We didn't hire it in Ebony State. It was at the crusade. The program
I speak to you.
was held in Ezekuna Hall in Abakaliki.
It's Isaac now.
Ezekuna Hall
I started praying.
in
the baby was
Abakaliki.
half dead.
That is the
When I finished praying, the baby died.
Nsugbe
Yes.
Street behind Motherless Baby's home.
So, the mother of the
People
child,
that knows that follow those women very well, they know about all this.
the hand went down.
We hired the young man and the ambulance. We bought the casket.
And tie on her waist.
We only paid the ambulance man.
He said,
We
"Who are
came
you?
with
Who
12
sent you?"
extra people
Oh, you came to finish it.
to act as the family, the compound, the neighbor,
To run.
the
mourners.
so it will be 12
Ark of Noah. I said,
extra
God,
people.
if you deliver me today,
That was what we hired.
I will mind my
The
business.
particular program.
I said, Madam, you know what we have
Those
to do?
12 is only to follow.
As this baby die now, I will give
People
you
that will be wailing and crying and
They know him is our person. So like when 12 people come in a congregation and identify they know this person, what is left again now for you not to believe?
The nurses came out and began to insult me. They said, we know why
The young man
we
entered the
this.
casket.
You people with Bible.
He immediately will reach motherless baby.
And the Holy Spirit said to me, call the name of the baby.
And I did he entered the
So I
casket.
turned to the woman and I said, what is the name?
Initially, there was a dross. There was an injection we collected from Morga.
I said, God,
Collected from, what's his name? Justice Suleiman.
and call the name.
wait.
I said, what
That Morga, Osi Benjamin.
and call
Collected injection
Injection.
5 years old.
from Apostle Suleiman, the
Yes.
one who know.
He told me himself.
And the baby opened the eyes.
You understand? He told me himself. I was his PA.
And held the mother.
But that he's afraid
The woman said,
of injecting that
I said, I told you.
young man.
I told you.
Made the guy no go
No
die.
come die.
Told you what? Me that wanted to run.
But he was told that injection will just is for the injection has time that it will expire.
God will give you a miracle that will change your story.
Along the line, he was afraid of giving the guy the injection. Even when the guy agreed,
People are taking risk.
they did not. The guy agreed, accepted the conditions that they will give him the injection. and nothing will happen. But he was afraid. We already arranged it. But along the line, he called and said, no, let the guy just enter the casket like that.
Without the
Injection. That a mind no accept him. We say, okay, since not like that, that means
like you know trust the source of the injection.
Exactly.
Make you know be say they want to
use them, set them up. Guys, exactly. So we say, okay, since not like that, the guy go just sit down for the ambulance with with other people that hired boss. Another boss. Those are also machineries. But they came with 2 cars. That boss is for those people that come to testify.
That they know the boy.
Yes. When we get to Mr. Biggs, sorry, Motherless Baby's home, just a diversion to that very hall. That was when the guy entered the casket. But the casket was closed when they want to bring it out.
It doesn't matter what is going on now.
But that was when he stopped receiving air.
It will pass.
Just immediately they want to bring it out. That was when they now shut it down. Already wear him hand glove, wear him stockings, put all this cotton wool.
I told you, and I'm hearing that again.
He was just there. He died 3 days ago. They wanted to go and bury him. But the prophet, somebody directed them
to bring the body to the prophet.
To the prophet. Ushers were like, no. He was saying he was just standing in the pulpit. What is going on there? He said, Papa, na dead body. He said, what are they doing with this? Does it look like mortuary? Bring it.
And the Bible says
they brought the young man. All right, he won't kill this guy, yo.
Inside there.
Send them away. What do you
And small
Body
hit.
where they sweat.
listen to me?
What
If
kind
you want
of
God to
dead
set
body
you
where
free,
they sweat?
He won't kill the guy inside that place.
the spirit of rejection.
First, he said that they should open it.
Hey, wait.
The late Benson, Archbishop
That's
Benson.
fine.
Let's say, man, don't call that. They should open
One
it.
day I was in the ministers
Because the
in 1992.
shock of a lot of people, they were unable to discover.
He said, I
But later,
raised the dead.
a lot of people start talking about it. How the guy, they sweat like that now.
He was saying that.
You understand?
It's easy to
This is very funny.
when the man talking
Imagine
has
a hall. The hall is
when the
even
man has
stuffy.
not done it, then there is an
Dead body where died since 3 days ago. Cause they sweat.
Now you know.
It was too much that the cops started sweating.
Welcome, Radio. Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Apparent unsafe nature of Nigeria was recorded again on Sunday in the southeast geopolitical zone of the troubled West Africa country after suspected terrorists launched multiple attacks in Anambra state, killing several numbers of persons after the suspected terrorists attacked a church at Lilu community within Ihiala local government area in the morning and burned part of the St. Andrew's Anglican Church, where the wife of the pastor was brutally murdered at the spot, and in the evening, the suspected terrorists took the hit to Anambra market in Nawfia community and shot sporadically into the Afore market in the Njikoko local government area, causing several casualties, with video evidence from residents indicating that 4 of the bodies died on the spot and were in their pool of blood, and large numbers of others rushed to the hospital. The Nigeria police force has confirmed the suspected terrorists' attack on Anglican Church in Lilu, but yet to issue statement as at the time of filing in this report on Monday morning over the attack on market in Nawfia. According to residents, yet to be ascertained total numbers of persons were killed when some unknown armed men launched an attack near the Afore Market Junction in Nawfia community, in Njikoko local government area of Anambra state on Sunday. At St. Andrew's Church in Lilu, the venerable wife was shot and the target of the attack. The pastor escaped into hiding and was later kept at a security safe place looking traumatized. The church was burnt and the priest's properties, including his car, was set ablaze. In a statement on Sunday, Chief Daniel Okoye, the President General of Nawfia Progressive Union, gave a brief account of the attack on the Anambra market, saying, "This evening, I received with deep shock the tragic news of an attack at the Afore Market Junction in Nawfia community. The incident resulted in multiple casualties, caused by unknown assailants who carried out this senseless act of violence. I strongly condemn this heartbreaking incident and the attempt to disrupt the peace of our beloved community. I have already contacted the relevant security agencies, and investigations are underway to uncover those responsible. I appeal to all NDI Nawfia to remain calm, stay vigilant, and continue to cooperate with security operatives as they work tirelessly to restore normalcy and ensure our safety. My thoughts and prayers are with the families affected. On behalf of the Nawfia Progressive Union, I extend our deepest sympathies and assure you that we are fully committed to supporting efforts aimed at protecting lives and maintaining peace in Nawfia. Anambra State Command of the Nigeria Police Force in a statement on Monday early morning, said, "The Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Police Command, CP Ikioye Oratugu condemns in the strongest terms the attack in the morning of the 7th of December 2025, carried out by armed criminals which resulted in the death of one person confirmed with serious injuries inflicted on a few others, including the church building partially burnt, and other properties destroyed at a church premises in Lilu, Ihiala local government area." The CP states that this heinous and abominable act, committed against innocent worshippers, is not only an assault on the community but a grave affront to our shared values of peace, sanctity of life, and freedom of worship. The command extends its deepest sympathies to the families of the victims and to the entire Lilu community and assures the public that the police shall relentlessly hunt down the perpetrators of this crime. The CP notes that no community should be subjected to such brutality as the command will not allow criminals to instill fear or destabilize the peace we are working tirelessly to maintain. In view of the above, the command has already intensified intelligence-driven operations, deployed the Joint Security Team, and strengthened surveillance across the area. The operatives are following every lead as no resource will be spared in ensuring that those responsible are apprehended and made to face the full weight of the law. The command urges residents to remain calm and cooperate with the Joint Security Team by providing useful information that can assist ongoing investigations for justice to be served. The command remains steadfast in its commitment to protecting lives and property across Ihiala and the entire state. SP Akenga Tochukwu, Police Public Relations Officer, Anambra State Police Command stated.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has expressed happiness that Nigeria troops, both air and land soldiers, have successfully foiled the coup attempt in Benin Republic on Sunday, saying, "Latest report from the Benin Republic indicated that Colonel Pascal Tigri, the leader of the mutineers who seized the country's national television on Sunday, is on the run and some other members of the group have been arrested as the defense and security forces in the country thwarted the attempted putsch, and, according to the Nigeria president, Nigeria government acted on two separate requests from the government of Benin Republic, saying, President Tinubu first ordered Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters from the national TV and a military camp where they had regrouped, and secondly ordered ground troops into the Benin Republic territory, which the Nigeria military troops have been confirmed to have taken positions in both air and land space in the Benin Republic, with some local residents saying a few minutes ago that the gun battle is still ongoing. Bayo Onanuga, the spokesperson to the Nigeria president, in a number of statements on Sunday said, "Coup in Benin fails. Mutineers in military uniform, who attempted to overthrow President Patrice Talon's democratic government on Sunday in the Republic of Benin, have failed. The mutineers seized the national TV after failing to enter President Talon's residence." The latest report from Cotonou said the National Guard has taken control of the situation and surrounded the television station. According to 24 Hours in Benin, discussions are underway with the mutineers, now holed up inside the station. Benin's Interior Minister, Alassane Sidou, says the country's armed forces have thwarted an attempted coup. His statement came after soldiers appeared on state television and announced the removal of President Patrice Talon, the closure of borders and suspension of political parties. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended the gallantry of Nigeria's military on Sunday for responding swiftly to the request by the government of Benin Republic to save its 35-year-old democracy from coup plotters who struck at dawn today. Acting on two separate requests from the government of Benin, President Tinubu first ordered Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters from the national TV and a military camp where they had regrouped. The Republic of Benin, through its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a note verbal, requested immediate Nigerian air support, in view of the urgency and seriousness of the situation and to safeguard the constitutional order, protect national institutions and ensure the security of the population. In the second request, the authorities in Benin requested the deployment of Nigerian Air Force assets within Beninois airspace for surveillance and rapid intervention operations under Benin-led coordination. The Benin government also requested Nigerian ground forces, strictly for missions approved by the Beninese Command Authority in support of the protection of constitutional institutions and the containment of armed groups. Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, said all the requests have been fulfilled, with Nigerian ground forces now in Benin. Ours is to comply with the order of the Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces, President Tinubu, he said. Constitutional order was upended in the Republic of Benin, Nigeria's neighbor, when some soldiers led by Colonel Pascal Tigre announced a coup on Sunday morning. The putschists seized the national TV and claimed they had toppled President Patrice Talon and suspended all democratic institutions. It took some hours before the government's loyal forces, assisted by Nigeria, took control and flushed out the coup plotters from the national TV. In his remarks after the restoration of the democratic and constitutional order, President Tinubu saluted the Nigerian armed forces for standing firm as a protector and defender of democracy. Today, the Nigerian armed forces stood gallantly as a defender and protector of constitutional order in the Republic of Benin on the invitation of the government. Our armed forces acted within the ambit of the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. They have helped stabilize a neighboring country and have made us proud of their commitment to sustaining our democratic values and ideals since 1999. Nigeria stands firmly with the government and people of the Republic of Benin. The latest report from the Benin Republic said Colonel Pascal Tigre, the leader of the mutineers who seized the country's national TV on Sunday, is on the run. However, some other members of the group have been arrested as the defense and security forces in the country thwarted the attempted putsch. Benin's Interior Minister, Alassane Sidou, has appeared on national TV to announce that the coup has been thwarted. Early on Sunday morning, the 7th of December 2025, a small group of soldiers launched a mutiny aimed at destabilizing the state and its institutions. Faced with this situation, the Beninese armed forces and their leadership, true to their oath, remained committed to the Republic. Their response allowed them to retain control of the situation and foil the attempt. The government therefore urges the population to go about their activities as normal. Omiyele Sowore, the founder of Sowore Reporters News Media and a human rights activist, in a statement on Sunday, said, "The so-called coups in Guinea-Bissau and the latest episode in the Benin Republic share disturbing similarities. In Guinea-Bissau, the phony coup unfolded after a criminal former president effectively invited the military to intervene to avoid announcing elections and relinquishing power to an opposition figure with a popular mandate. It was not a seizure of power to restore order, but a manipulation of force to escape democratic progress. The situation in Benin raises equally troubling questions. There are strong indications that President Patrice Talon, a deeply shady figure and a close ally of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, may have been aware of the coup plot, allowed it to unfold, and then used it as a political diversion to shift public attention away from his growing unpopularity. In this sense, instability becomes a calculated tool of political survival rather than an unforeseen threat to democracy. Of course, I am opposed to military rule in all its forms. I am allergic to it. Whether invited, staged, or exploited, coups are never a solution to political failure. The answer to bad civilian leadership is not guns, military jackboots, and camouflage, but accountability, popular struggle, and genuine democracy. It would be recalled that a group of soldiers appeared on Benin's national television on Sunday morning claiming to have seized power. The group, which called itself the Military Committee for Refoundation, announced the removal of President Patrice Talon and all state institutions. Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigre was thereafter appointed president of the military committee, according to the soldier. The signal of the national television was cut later in the morning. The French embassy said on X that gunfire was reported at Camp Gezo, near the president's official residence, and urged French citizens to remain indoors. Shortly after the soldier's declaration, a source close to Talon told AFP the president was safe and the regular army was regaining control. Benin's Foreign Minister Olusegun Ajadi Bakari also told Reuters, the situation is under control, while government spokesperson Wilfried Hungbeji told AP, everything is fine, according to Al Jazeera News Network.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Nigeria police force under the leadership of IGP Kayode Egbetoken has kept mum since reports indicated that the US-trained private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, who was invited to facilitate the rescue of a married couple, husband and wife simply identified as Mr. and Mrs. Ibrahim, that was kidnapped since late November at their home in Avili community, a village near Auchi Polytechnic in the Etsiko West local government area of Edo State, has been arrested and remanded to prison by a court sitting in Benin City, the Edo State capital, over allegations that the private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, underpaid the ransom money given to him to give to the kidnappers to rescue the married couple in captivity. The reports of Harrison Gwamnashu's arrest and subsequent remand to prison custody became widespread after a popular Nigeria social media activist, Vincent Martins Otse, in a video statement on Friday morning alleged that he has facilitated the arrest of the private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, for allegedly removing 5.4 million naira from the total amount given to him by the victim's family to help pay as ransom to the kidnappers. This occurred after the sting operations Gwamnashu had prepared the ransom money for was probably aborted after a man, whose real names may be Oshio Rima Job Ace-Geme, leaked, revealed and exposed the plan's sensitive security information online, according to the suspect who leaked out the sensitive security operational plans of Gwamnashu. Harrison Gwamnashu never told the family he was going to remove some money from the ransom, that the kidnappers said the money was not complete, hence only the wife was released, the man still held in captivity due to the incomplete ransom payment. The suspect, Oshio Rima Job Ace-Geme, in a video recorded statement stated that he was the one that helped facilitate the service of Harrison Gwamnashu when the family of the kidnapped victims requested for it. The action of the suspect may have prompted Harrison Gwamnashu to abort the sting operations, obviously for the safety of his personal life and the lives of Nigeria's soldiers and other security operatives he does use to execute and complete his sting operations against kidnappers, which often leads to the killing of the kidnappers and recovering of the total ransom paid. For the purpose of clarity, sting operations is a deceptive practice and undercover tactics used by journalist or intelligence officer or security operative to get closer to a suspected criminal or criminals in order to be more familiar with the criminals and the environment they operate, and the deceptive practice may include the journalist or intelligence officer or security operative pretending to give ransom money to kidnappers in a manner that can cause a delay in proper assessment of the environment before the security troops may launch offensive attack against the criminals. The action of Ace-Geme of leaking out sensitive security information may be of interest. Why Nigeria's soldiers and other security operatives are being killed in large numbers whenever in previous and recent years the Nigeria security troops are on rescue missions, including the recent mass killing of soldiers along with Brigadier General Uba Musa and civilian JTF members at Wajiroko village in Borno State by criminals. We are convinced that if Mr. Ace-Geme and the family of the kidnapped victims were suspicious that Harrison Gwamnashu wanted to steal part of the money, they would have played along and allowed the private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, to complete his sting operations. If only had Harrison completed the security operations and thereafter refused to disclose the money removed from the ransom money, then the accusation and allegation of possible stealing would have been reasonably acceptable. Harrison Gwamnashu in a statement said in reaction to the allegation of stealing that the kidnappers demanded 50 million nairas from the family and the family negotiated with them. I don't negotiate with kidnappers. My assistance is to follow them up using tech which the police, military and local vigilantes are aware of. The family raised 20 million nairas to the kidnappers and the kidnappers told them that they will free only the woman because they were begging that she's pregnant. The family told me the kidnappers insisted on freeing only the woman. On Monday, I received a phone call from them saying the kidnappers are requesting for 20 million nairas and I asked them for the two of them or just the woman. They said for the two. My work is to follow up with the money so we can get a real-time location and get the military to the exact location as we've done in the past with evidence to back it up. They took the money to the kidnappers and they released only the woman and didn't release the man. The people that went said the money was not counted by the kidnappers to know if it's below 20 million nairas or above. They said the kidnappers only told them the money wasn't complete and they should go. They returned back and started a blame game and right in the DPO Auchi's office, I explained to them the strategies and plans we use. They said why didn't I tell them? I said I did because I remember telling them we will work on the money but how it's going to happen is what is not supposed to be revealed to anyone. I have informed the authorities who brought me to Edo State and who understand better the strategy and I did not steal any money as alleged. I am open to investigation and the findings should be made public.
Good afternoon. I did very down, so I just want to explain my part for this matter. What I observe and what I know for this matter. You know the kidnapped couple, some days ago, we talked this matter, we begged the government, may they come help us, may we stop his security. So if the dad of the wife of the guy where they kidnapping and his wife, they come meet me, they could tell me, say they see me and Harrison with the, if they see my picture, you see when he helped Aisha the other time and all that, say they see good work and they see work for online. After they say yes, I get in contact. Now I come carry my phone, call Harrison, put the phone for speaker. They hear not Harrison say, see what happened for her with you. The parents they with me for a year. They say they won't talk to you. Harrison tell they say may they no rush them, may they let they call them, you know, he give the guidelines on how to follow up the issue. Say may they no worry, you call help them for the matter. So the girl brother can follow up the matter. So one time he call me say they don't arrive at a certain amount. So after that, Harrison, I could call Harrison, tell him, say, these people, how you could use their matter of car? He say he and them they talk. I say good. So when they come, when he won't come out with you the next day, he call me. So he say he go come out with you. Say and that they see the talk, say they don't feel meet up with something, they don't agree. Say okay, good. So when he come, I call the guy, say Harrison say the say yes, say they talk since. I say okay, good. Harrison come, I go meet them. I meet the guys. Say now people when I know they're very close to me, they're among them. I say good. They arrange the money. Harrison say they carry the money come to the hotel where they. They carry the money come to hotel where Harrison they. Harrison say okay, may they work, may we won't work on the money. So based on how I be, not be person from this side. Now somebody where we know they stay together. Now from another place Harrison for come. So we have to tell the girl, that brother, say may he stay with Harrison for inside the room. Stay with Harrison for inside the room. They do everything, they arrange everything. The money, the amount where they call, they inside. They intact. So Harrison come, everybody can come down. They wait for the call of the kidnappers. Right there with everybody, with all the snap, maybe with all the happy small say, God don't all those people won't come out. And we don't even the post pictures here, you know. So the next thing the kidnappers gonna call They come carry the money. The boy where Harris carry follow body come. The boy now from this area. And Harris they do all those work together. The boy come bring the motor come. Harris because a driver could drive him. They come carry the money. So the boy brother I can't tell the boy brother say you need to follow these people go deliver this money. So the other brother say now he and the brother go. I say no, two brothers no fit waka that kind of waka. Me one day one go. It did very, very risky. They say okay, they understand what they talk. Then they go. The next thing somebody we know they around just call me say say that Harris me will not let her go. Say the money when they give kidnappers they not correct. Now only the woman they leave, made the woman who say the money no correct. They remove the husband follow body. I'm surprised, I weak. I say what? When I call Harrison, brother, where you dey? See what did they tell me? Say they with Sodia, they won't go the bush. I said go the bush. Oh. Even the guy tell me say Harrison for road safe, but inside Harrison for return. I say come back. My brother did it, they don't release my brother. Cut the whole story short, they come. The next thing I see DPO because before Harrison go there, I tell DPO say Harrison there around to see what they go on. They say okay, make I tell Harrison they feel work together. Told Harrison just say no, see me they just go collect money, make the people come outside. When we go call DPO come, the Harrison driver, with the drive follow Harrison back, they go J2 side. So the boy when they sign motor with the driver, I tell the boy say, you know they go anywhere, come, where would they go back to Hatsi? He say you know he say he won't follow Harrison. So when the guy won't come fight and I take stop, drive the motor back to the hotel where we did. DPO don't dey. Then the guy come stand from near gate. Now tell DPO say no let that guy go. Even the guy will get that the motor where they take go, when be from this side, I say me they no let her go. When they put the two from motor, police van, me all of us go station. We went to station. We waited for Harrison. We call Harrison. Harrison's number they busy. Probably they make calls. I don't know. So the next thing, they begin call DPO. I don't know. Call DPO. They begin call and say, Harrison, they do good work. Make it work with him. So they can't call Harrison. So they tell us, say we get name for this time. We get the way we take to do our matter from here. All those guys they'll lose if they lose patient. This they are if drive away day, you know go like what thing will happen. So I have to talk to him in that manner. Called drive come to the station. All of us can talk. DPO can't talk to around. Everybody can talk. Because say the way they do it work, you know they want 10 person. Say you come out money. That's say you come out waiting. Say you come out money. That's your guy. You disappoint me. You disappoint everybody. You tell us say you want come out money. How much you come out? He said, no, how much you come out. I said, no, you know, if you tell say you don't know how much you come out. That money, they say, you don't even reach 10 million. DPO can send email follow him, may they go bring the money come. They follow him, they reach the hotel. Money where you come out for inside money, say you come out money, the money they're supposed to see there for one place. Harris, the bag where they carry come, Harris he separates the money for all the bags. Now there police station and say they bring money come on. They can put them for nylon, carry come a police station. DPO come collect the money, they call counter, because say money now 5.4 million now Harrison come up for that money they won't go give kidnapper. I down, I weak. I tell them say I won't go as I go sleep. DPO to make I wait. So they now agree say me Harrison go tomorrow make it come. If the kidnappers come call to talk see how much they there, see how much no they will not know how to go give them the money when they release the boy. So now Harrison motor, the day police station. Harrison say he go help mama go do something. Harrison say in a 1 hour time we take come. Harrison till now Harrison overcome. Now, you see the trust when we get for you, Harrison. You disappoint us because you're supposed to tell us say you want more money for that money. You don't tell anybody. And I call you when they tell me say that money no complete. When those guys will come, you tell me say the money complete. Now you come, you say 5.4. The money where you come out, you don't know, but we count on a 5.4 million. Now come, make we know how we want to do this matter. We'll follow up. till now you never still come. So anywhere you dey Harrison, come back to Auchi. No, we finalize this matter. Nobody move, nobody be move. So you know that money where you won't pay him, so it's not good. When you talk about the one way that they pay him, then you won't come pay him down. It's too big. If more take for instance, say you they come on money based on things where you won't do. Now 5.4 million naira now you won't come out. Okay, you know they pity all those couples. You know where they foresee this money where they gather, where they won't give those people. I just say make I tell on my own side of the story. I greet everybody. Thank you very much.
Good evening, my name is Harrison Guamnishu. Okay, so I'm being dragged on social media for this very case. I'm being dragged on social media. What happened? Yesterday, I was invited. Nobody paid me 1 kobo. I freed our vehicle. We left Asaba. On our way going on Ichugbo, our car broke down. Azubike, a pork taxi in Asaba, brought another vehicle for us in Awuchi, on Ichugbo. We traveled to Awuchi. Nobody paid us 1 kobo. I did not discuss money with anybody. We went there on our own to assist because we've been doing that for long and we're succeeding. Yesterday we failed. Now yesterday when I got to Awuchi, I know the people want me to say things I'm not supposed to say because one reason why I went for Awuchi, it failed. Yes, it failed. All right. The 2 victims that were kidnapped, the husband and wife, the wife was released. Before now, the kidnappers told the family that they're going to release only the wife. Some things happened behind the scene, which I cannot say here. There is no way I can say it. All right. But number one, nobody stole any money from anywhere. Nobody was arrested by the police. Nobody ran away from Edo State. Yesterday, I was threatened. My life was threatened. My team members, Peter, Chichi, our life was threatened. While in DPO's office yesterday, DPO said, Harrison, drop your car. I said, you said drop your car. And thank God I dropped that vehicle. Because if not, maybe I would have been trade and have happened to me on the way. Alright? So I left the vehicle. The vehicle is not my own, it belongs to my colleague. I left the vehicle at the station. Nobody impounded the vehicle. DPO said, please keep your vehicle here. I will give you security. DPO Awuchi said this. If you're going anywhere, I'll give you security. My policeman will go with you anywhere you want to go with. When I know say such promises, sometimes they happen. So this early morning I said, no, I have to leave. I have to leave Awuchi. Because the family said, since they did not release the man, they have released the woman, they don't want our services anymore. We should pause. We have to pause. I can't say these things on social media space. I can't. A lot happened. A lot happened behind the scene. A lot of work we had done already. I was only trying to assist too. I went there with the intention to help, and which I did. Unfortunately, the man was not released. And now the blame is on me. They are trying to shift the blame on me. Well, it's fine. I'm not going to debunk anything. I'm not going to, okay, this is debunking, yes, but I'm not going to say some stuff that we weaken what we have already built. I told you guys before that there are technologies that can be used to get the kidnappers, and we've succeeded. A lot of them has been utilized. A lot of guns recovered, millions of naira ransom recovered, which I do tender on social media space. 5,400,000 naira is not what will stain my name. Not on this mission. It's not possible. So every mission to strike, every plan to see how to weaken me, to make me to stop doing this, is not possible. If anybody have any grievances against me, against my work, what I expect you to do is just put up a petition, let the police investigate thoroughly. The police, DSS, the military can investigate thoroughly to know what went wrong. Last time we were in Agenebo, the DSS was with us. I was the one who was leading, who was providing the lead for what we were going for. We were in Obiaroko a few days ago. I was the one who was at the front. Like I'll be at the front. The ones carrying gun will be at my back. The ones with gun will be at my back. I'll be at the front, leading the way. That is how risky it is. But there are things we are doing There are things we are doing involving everything that I cannot talk about on social media space. Alright, so sorry guys if I'm disappointing you with my response like this. This is my response. Alright, if you want to drag me anywhere, drag me. But one thing you should know is you cannot weaken what we have built. What we have built and giving out for free, not for individual, but to government, security agencies, and everybody. Love you guys. Thanks for your concern. Thanks for your solidarity. God bless you all.
All right, so Harrison Gwamnishu is in the police custody in Benin, Edo State. He was arrested yesterday night. In all honesty, I initiated the call that led to his arrest. I did. And first of all, I'm really disappointed in everything, but I would wait for him to come out, and this time I would want him to use his mouth to say the truth about what happened in Auchi. You see, when the whole thing happened, they called me. When they told me, I was surprised. So I had to make other calls, spoke to the police, asked different questions, and when the story was true, I was sad, right? Immediately I told them something. I said, I don't want to see this thing on social media. Please, nobody should post it for a reason. They say, no, that they are going to post. I say, no, don't post it. And they assured me that they were not going to post it. Then later, I now saw a video online where one guy, Z04, posted it. I called him. I said, but I told you guys not to post this video. He said that they are accusing him because he's the one that called Harrison to come to Edo State. That they are accusing him that him and Harrison did the business together, and that if anything happened to the husband that is in the bush, that is him that will take responsibility for that. That was why he panicked and he went to go and post to clear his name. I said, okay, no problem. Then I went back online and saw that Harrison had now made his own video to explain. But when I watched the video, it was really gaslighting, especially because I know the truth. It was gaslighting. I was more disappointed in him because he didn't manage it well, right? Trying to counter narrative and just seek sympathy and emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail of people. I was disappointed, right? Anyways, it's in the police custody. I made that call, and when it comes out, I hope he would come and tell the public the truth. As for the money, whether he took it or not, this is a video when he returned the money.
You see this bag, like more than carry go bush, eh? You need to offload it. Do you understand? Do you understand? Even the Ghana must go, don't wait for Ghana must go. You go offload them. If you not do them.
So you could hear his voice there because they told them not to record, but one person managed. The DPO instructed them not to record. One person managed to make that. His truck is in the police station in Edo State, and right now he's in Benin. So let's wait for him to come out. Then if he comes out and he does not say the truth, I guess I will have to say it. Now, I also need to highlight something. Some people will say Very Dark Man is probably jealous because Harrison is getting audience. Of course, because lately they've been comparing the both of us. Harrison is the best activist, Very Dark Man is not an activist, and blah blah blah. So truth is, I am not an activist. I hate to be called an activist, and I don't really care about that. When it comes to the audience, I have more audience than literally almost everybody, right? I get more engagement than literally, so it's not about jealousy. You know what my platform is for? My platform is for the truth, and when I see evil, I spill. But for Harrison, sentiment entered because we talk sometimes in the DM, not always, but, and I just go straight to the point with him in the DM, straight to the point, you know. But I'm just disappointed, honestly, because honestly I thought he had changed, you know, but this one is just, yeah. If he didn't make that video to gaslight yesterday, I probably would have just let everything play out, make it carry win, but come on. Anyways, let's wait for Harrison to come out. Peace and love, don't play. If you play it online, I go learn the hard way.
I just want to make you people understand that Harrison is in police custody now. And Harrison, though they agree on so many things. I say, if Harrison say, you know, the police custody as I talk to you, may come on IG. Make video, may we see. So my people, this matter, God would help us.
Alright, so why did the kidnappers suspect that the 20 million is not complete. And why did the kidnappers start arguing with the people that came to make the drop? Because according to the kidnappers, the last person that paid ransom of 20 million, which they came to make the drop, is about the girl. That money was not complete. When they released the girl, they found out that millions of naira were missing from that money, and it was replaced with cattle. So that was why they suspected immediately that that 20 million was not complete. But there was no time to count it. And the person that came to make the drop with Harrison's driver, the person that came to make the drop, also suspected, because the way they arranged the money, it's not the way the money came out. The money was scattered and then they arranged the money. So, but they had to confidently argue with the kidnappers because they know that there's no time for them to count it. At the end of the day, the kidnappers say, okay, I've been doing this business for 15 years. If I see 100 million, I know it's 100 million. This one is not 20 million, but this is what we'll do. We'll give you the wife to take. Do you understand? Listen. We'll give you the wife to go with. Then we'll count the money. If we count the money and it is complete 20 million, we'll give the husband transportation money to come back home. But do you know where the problem is? They did not say what they will do if they find out the money is not complete. You see where there's a problem now. So they left with the wife. And when they got there, the guy started arguing that Harrison, the way they rearranged the money and when we got there is different. Harrison, some money is missing. Harrison argued. Eventually, Harrison agreed. Say, carry money. You remember, the goal of all of this is to make sure the husband and wife is released. They don't release wife, they remain husband. Kidnapper don't talk, say, they go release the husband if the money they complete. But they did not say what they would do if that money is not complete. And as I speak to you now, kidnappers have still not reached out to the family. As I speak to you now, they are still not sure if kidnapper don't buy the man or not. But God forbid. Now, when I heard about it, I told them, do not come on the media, because I had calculated a lot of things. I said, just keep quiet. Keep the kidnappers guessing. If you people made a mistake or not, let's just wait for their call. That was what was going on in my head. Then one of them now went to go and make a video out of the threats that they were threatening him, that he is the one that brought Harrison. And if anything happened to their brother, now him, they will enter. That's why that one now went to go and make a video that Harrison carried money. But Harrison made one mistake. Remember, somebody there in captivity with kidnappers. Harrison would have just made a video to say, we are working on getting the guy out. For now, I don't have anything to say. That will also keep the kidnappers guessing. But Harrison made a very big mistake. Do you understand? Because those people, the family, they are waiting that if the kidnappers call, they will tell them that, see you, the person that is supposed to come and make the drop took some money out of it. It has nothing to do with us. We are not playing with you. So their prayer of the family is that they call back. Then these people went on the media. Now, Harrison now further made a mistake. What is the mistake?
Number one, nobody stole any money from anywhere. I told you guys before that there are technologies that can be used to get the kidnappers, and we've succeeded. A lot of them has been neutralized. A lot of guns recovered. Millions of naira ransom recovered.
Harrison said no money was missing. By saying no money was missing, remember, these people did social media. These kidnappers, they're on social media. By saying this no money was missing, is indirectly spoiling the chances that the family have. That chance of saying if kidnapper later call them, they will tell them, say, see what happened. It is not us. See who carry money, Mona no verse, but we'll bring the money back. Please return our brother. We did not plan to scam you. We did not plan to lie to you. We are sorry. Harrison ruined the chance by saying nothing was missing. He didn't just stop there. He went on to say they have technologies to neutralize, to collect and all that. Another message to these kidnappers that are holding this man. There's a possible chance that they are being set up. And that money that is missing is a sign of something in technology that is somewhere. You see, this is the part where I decide to step in. I also needed to send a message because Harrison has a bigger platform than the people accusing him. So I needed to send a message to the kidnappers that this family did not plan to scam you. So Harrison took the money. That was why I initiated the call. But again, up till now, these kidnappers have not called. And I hope they've not buy that man. You see, where is the problem now? And this is why I made the call. It was to send a message to them that the family no get hand. And if they watch this video, the family no get hand. It was a mistake. They didn't plan to scam you or lie to you. Do you understand? That's number one. Number two, you see, I am actually protecting him. Because if message come, God forbid, say they buy that man, nobody's going to let Harrison go. Because if they say you no carry money, therefore release the husband and the wife. You see the problem now. So for that station where they is the best place it can be right now. And let's hope and pray that they release that man. But like I said to the kidnappers, now they our media. The family no plan to scam now. Again, I watched the Harrison video. Why? You didn't need to see all of that. See, the kidnapper talk say, now only the man they go release, they don't go release. Now only the woman they go release. No. He said, the DPO now said that they did not arrest him. The DPO just collected his car, that he wants to keep it. The story did not connect. But yes, the DPO did not arrest him eventually because Harrison said he didn't take the money. After a while, he agreed and he brought the one he took. The DPO could not arrest him. Why? According to the DPO, Harrison told him that his boys are already clamping down on the kidnappers, that they have seen where the kidnappers are. It's just to arrest them. So the DPO could not arrest Harrison, so that tomorrow Harrison will not say, we almost arrested them. If not that the DPO detained me, we would have arrested all of them. That was why the DPO let him go that night and say, okay, your truck will be here. Because the DPO, it was between the devil and the DPO. See, so they say, okay, they go. Then in the morning, Harrison, he moved. He told the DPO that he needed to do some internet control. That's why. That's why they let him go. Do you understand? But the main thing is that man is still there. They've not received any call from the kidnappers yet. At all. And again, me, I'm scared. Because the kidnappers are saying the last money where they can't drop for one person where they kidnap, they remove money inside. They replace them with paper. I needed to do what I had to do to just send the message. I have a bigger platform. They go see them. I had to do what I had just to let them know this family no get anything to do with the money we miss. Make them know if you say that they use them play. From there they can't go buy the man. That's it. Nothing more. And for those of you saying it's a setup, a trap that is meant for a rat in the house cannot catch a cat because the cat does not move like the rat. I repeat, a trap that was set for a rat in the house cannot catch a cat because a cat does not move like a rat. If it was a setup, did he take the money? The setup needed to be complete if he took it. If he didn't take it, there will not be any setup. Just for you people thinking it's a setup, there will not be any setup. But my point is this, to the kidnappers and co, the family have nothing to do with that money that is missing. And they don't intend to play games with you. Please release the husband. Please release the husband. Please release the husband. The money can be completed and arranged and sent back to you. Any location loan I want, they will carry and come. Change your location, anything. In short, you can have it taken anywhere. Please, do not hurt that man. That's nothing to do with them. Family did not do anything. Please. Please. Please.
Osazuwa bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Nigeria's prominent music icon, Innocent Idibia aka Two-Face Idibia, has cried out for help after domestic violence he had with his new wife, Natasha, during social media live stream organized by Daddy Freeze on Monday over allegations and video evidence that surfaced online showing Two-Face Idibia being arrested with the two of his hands handcuffed at the back in London due to altercations he had with his new wife, Natasha. The act of domestic violence between the African Queen music crooner and his new wife has drawn the attention of the Edo State House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly on Tuesday summoned the wife, Natasha, who is also a member of Parliament in the Edo State House of Assembly, to appear before its disciplinary committee on ethics over what the State Assembly described as a behavior capable of embarrassing the House. It may be recalled that at the beginning of the year, Two-Face Idibia announced his break-up with Annie Macaulay in January 2025 and presented Natasha as new wife-to-be. Soon, Two-Face younger brother, Charles Idibia, came online and said his elder brother, Tubaba, has moved from frying pan to burning furnace, expressing deep displeasure over the choice of Honorable Natasha as a wife. Two-Face Idibia, in an Instagram story a few hours ago, made a simple post with a write-up, "Help me." He did not state what he wants people to help him with or give a clearer picture of whatever he needed help for. Many people in the society included suggested the needed help may not be unconnected with marital issues he's probably having with his new wife, Natasha. But in a video later today, he said, "This is getting out of hand. It's a very dangerous situation. I understand what fans can do, but I am perfectly okay. This is putting Natasha at risk. Please, I need everybody to calm down and cease. We're gonna resolve all these issues. People they get issues for house Nobi today. Please friends, family, everybody cease fire. Please, I am perfectly fine. I didn't post that post." The Nigerian music icon, Two-Face Idibia, addressed growing concerns after a troubling post circulated online suggesting he was in distress and calling for help. The Edo State House of Assembly on Tuesday summoned the wife and the lawmaker representing Igor constituency, Natasha E. Robosa, to explain what members describe as behavior capable of embarrassing the House after videos of the legislator, who is married to music star Innocent Tubaba Idibia, kept spreading online. According to the Speaker, Blessing Agbebeku, the lawmaker must appear before the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges within 1 week to respond to the allegation of misconduct linked to her recent actions. Agbebeku said, "Honorable Natasha E. Robosa has been summoned to appear before the Ethics and Privilege Committee of the Assembly due to her recent conduct, which has been trending online. This conduct drags the name of the House into the mud, and it is the responsibility of the members of the Assembly to conduct themselves well. This House has cerebral minds, educated people who had been dragged in the mud for too long by our colleague, Honorable Natasha. She has been trending on social media and television for the wrong reason. The House has members who know what they are doing, and the attitude of our member has brought this House to disrepute, and we will not tolerate it." The Speaker noted that the committee would submit its finding to the House in 2 weeks' time. E. Robosa has been trending for the wrong reasons recently after a video where she was having an altercation with her husband, Innocent Idibia, surfaced online. A tense moment erupted when Tubaba suddenly joined an online meeting Daddy Freeze hosted for the singer's former managers. Viewers couldn't believe what followed next as Tubaba's wife Natasha Sowore bumped into him while he was on air. The social media broadcast featured two of the singer's former management associates, Kaka Igbokwe and Lori Tozin, who alleged that Natasha was exerting excessive control over his personal and professional affairs. During the session, the duo claimed the lawmaker often displayed violent outbursts and referenced previous incidents involving the couple, including an alleged domestic disturbance in the United Kingdom. While the claims were being made, Tubaba abruptly joined the live stream and ordered the former managers to stop discussing his private life. Moments later, raised voices believed to be the singer and his wife were heard in the background before the session ended abruptly. The development has heightened public scrutiny of the couple's relationship, which became public after 2Baba announced his separation from actress Annie Idibia in January. He proposed to Sowore in February, and the pair tied the knot in July. The latest controversy follows earlier claims that the singer was briefly taken into police custody in the UK after an alleged altercation with Natasha during his tour in October. Although 2Baba dismissed that account, insisting he missed a show due to a medical emergency, the claims resurfaced after the live session. Kaka Igbokwe, former manager of Two-Face and son of the late Nigerian music legend, Christy Essien Igbokwe, confirmed that the old trending video of 2Baba being arrested in London after he had a heated altercation with his pregnant wife, Natasha Sowore, was true. Recall that 2Baba travelled to the United Kingdom in the company of his pregnant wife for a concert tour, but missed a scheduled show on October 2, 2025. His absence led to rumours that he had been arrested after a fight with his new wife, who is also a lawmaker in Edo State House of Assembly, Natasha Sowore, at the airport. However, confirming the report, while featuring on Daddy Freeze's Instagram live session, on Monday evening, Igbokwe said, "Everything you heard about the couple's face-off was true." Narrating how the altercation happened, Igbokwe, who was part of the London team, and was in the same flight with them, said, Natasha got upset when she felt 2Baba abandoned her after they landed at the airport and strolled away with fans who ushered him into a shop. However, when the African Queen, crooner, realized that Natasha was left behind, he hurriedly ran back to her as she lashed out at him, leading to his being arrested and handcuffed. The video, which was posted on December 1, 2025, had sparked fresh debate online, with many Nigerians revisiting a story 2Baba had already denied. In a video posted on Instagram, 2Baba denied the reports and explained that he missed the show because of a medical emergency. At the time, he and fans dismissed the report, but the story continued to circulate on gossip sites and social media. The controversy returned after Tosin Silverdom, a blogger, posted what he described as new evidence, a video clip on Instagram and X on December 1, which he said shows 2Baba being arrested at London's Gatwick Airport after a heated argument with Natasha. In the caption, he wrote, "Video of Two-Face Idibia being arrested by the police in the UK after an alleged altercation with his wife Natasha, and video of heated argument at the airport." The video is finally out. Screenshots from the clip shared by commentators appear to show officers speaking with 2Baba outside a store before escorting him out of the building. We had reported that, after watching his elder brother, Innocent Idibia aka Two-Face, took to Instagram social media early morning midnight to post a video of him, Two-Face, apologizing to Natasha Sowore and the general public over the opinion he had expressed in a podcast interview. The African Queen music maestro's younger brother, Charles Idibia aka Charlie Brave, also took to Instagram nearly around noon to narrate how his elder brother, Two-Face, is currently and allegedly living in bondage in the hand of Natasha Sowore, specifically stating that it was Natasha Sowore who used Two-Face's social media handle to announce to the public Two-Face's marriage breakup with Annie Macaulay, adding, "Natasha Sowore do go through Two-Face's phone, deleting WhatsApp messages she does not like," narrating also how Natasha Sowore allegedly impersonated Two-Face, by thus writing on Two-Face's social media page, where the allegedly impersonated Two-Face was seen to have asked the general public to help him beg Natasha Sowore to marry him. This, Charles Idibia said, his elder brother, 2Baba, has moved from a frying pan that almost killed him to an industrial furnace that will completely destroy him and his career legacy.
Fans, you are no one. I am perfectly. Understand? And this is the way it's pressure. It's not fair on anybody to do this kind of thing. It's not fair for anybody. So please, I need everybody.
This kind piece of mind get as he be. When Annie dey with a Two-Face, nobody dey hear all this kind of thing. Now wow, peace of mind.
Right, the person that's got social media access of God. Please, I beg you. I beg you. I am perfectly fine. I will not pull up.
Yeah, we can't only do it together, but I think we don't
Please.
here and when
I'm okay. This is getting out of hand.
Don't worry.
And it's,
I'll sort that out.
this is a dangerous situation right now.
They just questioning
I know what fans do. I know what I am perfectly understand what I'm saying. And this is really pressure. It's not fair on anybody to do this kind of thing.
Baba has joined.
It's not fair on anybody at all. So please, I need everybody to calm down. I need everybody to cease fire.
You need to shut the fuck up. You need to just shut the fuck up.
People they get
You need to shut the fuck up, man. You need to shut the fuck
But
up.
this is getting out of hand. Please, friends, family, everybody, cease fire. Please, I beg you. I am perfectly fine. I did not pull that. Please. I'm okay. Please. This is getting out of hand. And this is a dangerous situation right now. I know what fans can do. I know what people can. I am perfectly understand.
Guys, calm down. Let's.
It's not fair on anybody to do this kind of thing. It's not fair on anybody at all. So please, I need everybody to calm down.
Let's hope that there will be some stability so we can.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Presidency under the command and control of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that if the ex-president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, wished to help in addressing apparent worsening security situations in the West Africa country, Obasanjo must first acknowledge the past failures that allowed terrorists to gain a foothold, and then support ongoing efforts, not undermine them. The presidency, through the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Communications, Sunday Dare stated this few days ago in reactions to the statement of Obasanjo that Nigerians have rights to call on international community's intervention if the government can no longer protect them, stating that the terrorists also kill people of other religions should not be an excuse. This, Obasanjo said while he was speaking at a Christmas carol event in Jos, Plateau State, after President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S. had raised alarm of what the U.S. president described as Christians' genocide in Nigeria and threatened to send U.S. troops to Nigeria if the killing of Christians continued by the suspected Islamic terrorists. A presidential statement that has seen spike in the activities of kidnapping and killings in Nigeria and thus creating more attention to the apparent unsafe nature of the country, which included the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi, the kidnapping of 38 worshippers in Ereku, Kwara, and the mass abduction of over 300 students and teachers still in captivity at a Catholic school in Niger State, with daily wave of coordinated attacks across the northern and southern parts of the country, wherein the bandits, often suspected to be Fulani herdsmen, have abducted monarchs, worshippers, a bride, married couples, students and travelers, taking at least 600 people as captives within 14 days. And the rising unsafe nature of things could have made the Nigeria's defense minister, Alhaji Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, to tender resignation letter on Monday, while the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has since been appointed as the new defense minister, and the Senate has scheduled today, Wednesday, for his screening in line with the law and constitutional procedures of the Africa country. According to Obasanjo, no matter what religion you belong to, no matter where you come from, no matter what profession, we Nigerians are being killed. And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting us. We are part of the world community. If our government cannot do it, we have right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. And for anybody to say because those who are being killed belong to this region, belong to this religion, belong to this tribe, and then others too are being killed cannot be an acceptable excuse. Before I left government, I know we had capacity to pick up anybody in Nigeria who commits crime anywhere. The capacity that we didn't have then is after we have identified and located such a criminal, we have no capacity to be able to pick him up without moving on land or by air. Now we have capacity with drones. You can take him up. Why are we not doing that? Why are we apologizing? Why are we negotiating? In a statement on Sunday, Dare warned that Obasanjo's comments risk distorting the security realities and undermining public confidence. He argued that if the former president truly intends to contribute meaningfully, he must first accept responsibility for past failures. Sunday Dare, in the statement titled, "Between Tinubu's Capability and the Ignobility of Pseudo-Statesmanship," stated that the recent comments by a former president and a few habitual presidential aspirants attempting to paint the Tinubu administration as unable to protect Nigerians are not merely hypocritical but ignoble. They ignore the hard truth: Nigeria is facing terrorists. All of them, by every definition, be they international, regional, or local. Yet the very individuals who looked away when these threats first sprouted now want to sit in judgment. Nigerians know better. The suggestion that Nigeria should effectively subcontract its internal security to foreign governments is not statesmanship, it is capitulation. Before recommending surrender, the former president should reflect on what he failed to do when these terrorists first began organizing under his watch. 1. Nigeria is under attack by terrorists. Full stop. No euphemisms. No soft language. The people killing Nigerians, raiding villages, kidnapping innocents, blowing up infrastructure, and challenging state authority are terrorists, whether they fly a foreign flag or none at all. Nigeria today confronts a multi-layered terrorist ecosystem that includes internationally designated terror organizations, ISIS-linked and Al-Qaeda-linked franchises across the Sahel, local violent extremist groups masquerading as bandits, cross-border terrorist cells exploiting porous frontiers, ideological insurgents and criminal terror hybrids operating in ungoverned spaces. These actors collaborate. They share money, ideology, weapons, intelligence, and logistics. The goal is the same: to break the Nigerian state and subjugate its people. Let's call them what they all are: terrorists. 2. Terrorism took root on his watch and grew because it was not stopped. It is historical fact that the ideological foundations and early cells of Boko Haram were incubated during Obasanjo's civilian presidency. While they recruited, indoctrinated, built camps, and flaunted authority, the state failed to act decisively. What began as a preventable extremist sect transformed into a violent insurgency, a cross-border terrorist franchise, a regional menace aligned with global jihadist movements. For the leader under whom the first seeds of terrorism were allowed to germinate to now issue public lectures is not just ironic, it is reckless. 3. Tinubu's strategy meets the threat head-on. President Tinubu is not facing a conventional security challenge. He is confronting terrorism in full-spectrum form, both internal and transnational. His strategy is clear: kinetic pressure, modernizing military capability, intensifying intelligence-led operations, squeezing terrorist mobility and dismantling logistics, retaking and holding territory, non-kinetic dominance, restoring governance in underserved and contested zones, deploying economic stabilization and community programs, counter-radicalization and reintegration initiatives, building trust to deny terrorists the human terrain they exploit, whole of government, whole of nation. Because terrorists thrive in division, Nigeria defeats them through unity. Sovereignty first. Nigeria will cooperate internationally, yes, but it will not outsource its security or raise a white flag because someone who once had the chance lost his nerve. Yes, Nigeria needs the support and understanding of the United States, and that is already ongoing. And of course the collaboration of other allied nations. The crime at hand is transnational. Every ungoverned space must come under scrutiny. 4. Leaders who undermine Nigeria strengthen terrorists. When former leaders disparage the nation's capacity, they hand psychological victories to the very terrorists murdering, kidnapping and extorting Nigerians, terrorizing Nigerians in plain language. A real statesman offers support, not sound bites. If Obasanjo wishes to help, he should acknowledge the past failures that allowed terrorists to gain a foothold, and then support ongoing efforts, not undermine them. Let him put his position and connections at Nigeria's disposal like he has done for other countries. Not seek to put down an administration that is fully engaging in many fronts: economic turnaround, providing security and building key infrastructure. 5. Under Tinubu, Nigeria will defeat terrorism. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains committed to securing every inch of Nigeria by confronting terrorists with strength, unity, and a whole-of-government strategy. Let all patriots join hands now and not raise alarms. This administration will not be distracted by selective amnesia wrapped in elder statesmanship, nor will it allow those who midwifed Nigeria's early security failures to rewrite history.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has declared a state of emergency over growing insecurity in the West Africa country, and as such, banned open grazing, with a call on Herders Association to tell their members to surrender illegal weapons in their possession, and as well gave a matching order to the Department of State Services, DSS, to recruit more forest guards to chase away terrorists and bandits from all forests in Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also called on members of the National Assembly to review existing laws in Nigeria and give rooms for the establishment of state police. In his words, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while declaring the state of emergency on security matters on Wednesday, said, "Today, in view of the emerging security situation, I have decided to declare a nationwide security emergency and order additional recruitment into the armed forces. By this declaration, the police and the army are authorized to recruit more personnel. The police will recruit an additional 20,000 officers, bringing the total to 50,000. Although I had previously approved the nationwide upgrade of police training facilities, the police authorities are, by this statement, authorized to use various National Youth Service Corps camps as training depots. The officers being withdrawn from VIP guard duties should undergo crash training to debrief them and deliver more efficient police services when deployed to security-challenged areas of the country. The DSS also has my authority to immediately deploy all the forest guards already trained to flush out the terrorists and bandits lurking in our forests. The agency also has my directive to recruit more men to man the forests. There will be no more hiding places for agents of evil. My fellow Nigerians, this is a national emergency, and we are responding by deploying more boots on the ground, especially in security-challenged areas. The times require all hands on deck. As Nigerians, we should all get involved in securing our nation. Let me take this moment to commend our security agencies for working together to secure the release of the 24 schoolgirls in Kebbi and the 38 worshippers in Kwara State. We will continue to sustain the efforts to rescue the remaining students of Catholic school in Niger State and other Nigerians still being held hostage. To the leadership and rank and file of our armed forces, I commend your courage and your sacrifice. This is a challenging moment for our nation and for the military institution itself. I charge you to remain resolute, to restore peace across all theaters of operation, and to uphold the highest standards of discipline and integrity. There must be no compromise, no collusion, and no negligence. The Nigerian people are counting on you, and this administration will provide the support you need to succeed. In addition, our administration will support state governments which have set up security outfits to safeguard their people from the terrorists bent on disrupting our national peace. I call on the National Assembly to begin reviewing our laws to allow states that require state police to establish them. States should rethink establishing boarding schools in remote areas without adequate security. Mosques and churches should constantly seek police and other security protection when they gather for prayers, especially in vulnerable areas. Our administration created the Livestock Ministry to address the persistent clashes between herders and farmers. I call on all herder associations to take advantage of it, end open grazing and surrender illegal weapons. Ranching is now the path forward for sustainable livestock farming and national harmony. The federal government, in collaboration with the states, will work with you to solve this problem, once and for all. I sympathize with the families who have lost their loved ones in recent attacks on soft targets in Kebbi, Borno, Zamfara, Niger, Yobe, and Kwara states. I also pay tribute to our brave soldiers who have made the ultimate sacrifice, including Brigadier General Musa Uba. Those who want to test our resolve should never mistake our restraint for weakness. This administration has the courage and determination to keep the country safe and ensure our citizens live in peace. I sympathize with the families who have lost their loved ones in recent attacks on soft targets in Kebbi, Borno, Zamfara, Niger, Yobe, and Kwara states. I also pay tribute to our brave soldiers who have made the ultimate sacrifice, including Brigadier General Musa Uba. Fellow compatriots, I urge you not to give in to fear and never succumb to despair. Let's stand together in purpose and strength to defend our freedom and values. Our administration will continue to guarantee peaceful coexistence and preserve our union. I urge all Nigerians to remain calm and vigilant. Report suspicious activities. Cooperate with security agencies. We are in this fight together, and together we shall win. May God continue to bless Nigeria and keep our armed forces safe.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
There are concerns that a renewed war may break out between Israel and Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon as Pope Leo XIV prepares to visit Turkey and Lebanon beginning this week. From the 27th of November to the 2nd of December 2025, which will be the first apostolic journey of the head of Catholic Church outside Italy of his pontificate, the possible renewed war may occur following Hezbollah stands to retaliate attacks Israel launched in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut on Sunday, killing Hezbollah chief of staff and second in command, Haytham Ali Tabatabai alongside 4 other persons, namely, Qasim Hussein Bajawi, Mustafa Assad Berro, Rifat Ahmed Hussein, Ibrahim Ali Hussein, and funeral is being held in their honor in Beirut as at the time of filing in this report on Monday, Israel, while confirming the killings, said, Tabatabai is a mass murderer, his hands are soaked in the blood of many Israelis and Americans, and it is not for nothing that the US put a bounty of $5 million on his head, although previous popes had visited Lebanon in the past successfully. But the current Pope, Pope Leo XIV, is the first US-born citizen to be pontiff or head of the Roman Catholic Church, and one of the Hezbollah official, Mahmoud Qumati, in a statement on Sunday as he stood near the bombed-out building in the Harid Rake suburb, said, Israel's strike crossed a red line, and Hezbollah's leadership would decide on whether and how the group would respond. The Hezbollah, while confirming Tabatabai's death, said, Tabatabai, the great jihadist commander, who had worked to confront Israeli enemy until the last moment of his blessed life, ascended as a martyr in sacrifice for Lebanon and its people following a treacherous Israeli attack on Harid Rake area in Beirut's southern suburb. Israel carried out the airstrike on the southern Beirut suburb for the first time since June, killing at least 5 people and wounding 28, according to Lebanon Health Ministry. Funeral proceedings for Haytham Ali Tabatabai, the Hezbollah commander, and others were held on Monday in Beirut's southern suburbs. Early photographs and videos from the scene showed Hezbollah members carrying Tabatabai's coffin, draped in yellow and green, and raising the group's yellow flags as they marched through the Lebanese capital. Hezbollah said the strike, launched almost exactly a year after a ceasefire ended that Israel-Hezbollah war, threatened an escalation of attacks, just days before Pope Leo XIV is scheduled to visit Lebanon on his first foreign trip outside Italy. In its statement, the IDF said Tabatabai commanded most of Hezbollah's units and worked hard to restore them to readiness for war with Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office said earlier Sunday that the Hezbollah chief of staff was the target of the Israeli strike on southern Beirut. Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, in a statement on Sunday, said, a short while ago, in the heart of Beirut, the IDF attacked the Hezbollah chief of staff, who had been leading the terrorist organization's build-up and rearmament. Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered the attack upon the recommendation of the defense minister and the IDF chief of staff. Israel is determined to act to achieve its objectives everywhere and at all times. The Israeli Prime Minister office also quoted the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as saying, "A few hours ago, the IDF eliminated Ali Tabatabai, the chief of staff of the Hezbollah terrorist organization. Tabatabai is a mass murderer. His hands are soaked in the blood of many Israelis and Americans, and it is not for nothing that the US put a bounty of $5 million on his head." Tabatabai served as a senior commander in the Radwan force. This is the force that prepared to conquer the Galilee and slaughter many of our citizens. Recently, he led Hezbollah's renewed efforts to rearm. This is of course after the heavy blows Hezbollah suffered in the Pager operation, in the damage to its missile stockpiles, and of course, in the elimination of Nasrallah. I thank the IDF and the security forces which carried out a professional, accurate, and successful operation today. The policy I am leading is absolutely clear. Under my leadership, the state of Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its power, and we will not allow it to pose a threat to the state of Israel again. I expect the government of Lebanon to fulfill its commitment to disarm Hezbollah. Because only in this way can a better future be made possible for every citizen in Lebanon, and only in this way can good and secure neighborly relations be established between Israel and Lebanon. On this occasion, I also want to commend President Trump on his decision to outlaw and designate the Muslim Brotherhood organization as a terrorist organization. This is an organization that endangers stability throughout the Middle East and also beyond the Middle East. Therefore, the State of Israel has already outlawed part of the organization, and we are working to complete this action soon. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun said in a statement issued by his office that Israel's strike in Beirut on Sunday was further proof that it disregards repeated calls to cease its attacks on Lebanon and refuses to implement international resolutions and all efforts and initiatives aimed at ending the escalation and restoring stability, not only to Lebanon but to the entire region. Lebanon, which has adhered to the cessation of hostilities for nearly a year now and has presented initiative after initiative, reiterates its call to the international community to assume its responsibility and intervene firmly and seriously to stop the attacks on Lebanon and its people, Aoun said. Vatican News in a statement had announced Pope Leo XIV's visit to Lebanon as follows. Turkey. On Monday, the Holy See released the schedule for the Pope's journey, which will begin in Turkey on the 27th of November. Upon his arrival in the capital, Ankara, the Holy Father will meet with the nation's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, before addressing Turkish authorities, representatives of civil society, and members of the diplomatic corps. At the end of the day, the Pope will travel by plane from Ankara to Istanbul, Turkey's largest city. During his first full day in Turkey, Friday the 28th of November, Pope Leo will meet with bishops, priests, deacons, consecrated persons and pastoral workers at Istanbul's Cathedral of the Holy Spirit. Later in the morning, he will visit the nursing home of the Little Sisters of the Poor. After a short helicopter flight to Nisa, modern Iznik, the Holy Father will participate in an ecumenical prayer service near the archaeological excavations of the ancient Basilica of St. Neophytos. Returning that same day to Istanbul, the Pope will meet with bishops in the apostolic delegation. On Saturday the 29th of November, Pope Leo will begin his day with a visit to the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, the famous Blue Mosque, before meeting privately with leaders of the local churches and Christian communities at the Syriac Orthodox Church of Mor Efrem. In the afternoon, he will take part in a doxology at the Patriarchal Church of St. George, the seat of the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople. Following the service, Pope Leo XIV will meet with Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I, with the two leaders signing a joint declaration in the Patriarchal Palace. The day will conclude with Holy Mass celebrated in Istanbul's Volkswagen Arena. The Holy Father's schedule for Sunday the 30th of November, the Feast of St. Andrew the Apostle, begins with a prayer visit to the Armenian Apostolic Cathedral. Later that morning, Pope Leo will attend a divine liturgy at the Patriarchal Church of St. George. Following an ecumenical blessing at the conclusion of the liturgy, the Pope will have lunch with Ecumenical Patriarch. Lebanon. In the afternoon, after a farewell ceremony at Istanbul's Ataturk Airport, Pope Leo XIV would begin the second leg of his apostolic journey by flying to Beirut, Lebanon. Upon his arrival, the Pope will hold separate meetings with the President of the Republic, the President of the National Assembly, and the Prime Minister of Lebanon. He will then give his customary address to Lebanese authorities, representatives of civil society, and members of the diplomatic corps. Pope Leo has a busy day on Monday the 1st of December, beginning with a visit to the tomb of Saint Charbel Makhlouf at the monastery of Saint Maroun in Anaya. From there, he travels to the shrine of Our Lady of Lebanon in Harissa, where he will meet with bishops, priests, consecrated persons and pastoral workers. The morning concludes with a private meeting with Catholic patriarchs in the Apostolic Nunciature. In the afternoon, Pope Leo will hold an ecumenical and interreligious meeting in Martyrs Square in Beirut. Later, in the square in front of the Maronite Patriarchate of Antioch in Bikirke, Pope Leo will meet with young people of Lebanon. The final day of the Pope's apostolic journey, Tuesday the 2nd of December, will see the Holy Father visiting staff members and patients of the De La Croix Hospital in Jal ed-Dib. Pope Leo will then have the opportunity for silent prayer at the site of the Beirut port explosion, which occurred in 2020. The Holy Father will then celebrate Holy Mass at the Beirut waterfront, the final major event of the journey to Lebanon. Pope Leo is scheduled to depart from Beirut Tuesday afternoon, with a scheduled arrival at Rome's Fiumicino International Airport shortly after 4 p.m. Hezbollah, in a statement of confirmation on Monday, said, "With utmost pride and honor, Hezbollah announces to the people of the resistance and to our Lebanese people the martyrdom of the great jihadi commander, Haytham Ali al-Tabtabai, Said Abu Ali, who ascended as a martyr in sacrifice for Lebanon and its people following a treacherous Israeli attack on Harat Reik area in Beirut's southern suburb. The great commander joined his martyred brothers after a long period of awaiting the meeting with Allah Almighty, following a life filled with jihad, sincerity, dedication, and steadfastness on the path of resistance. He spent his blessed life working tirelessly in confronting the Israeli enemy until his last moments. He knew no fatigue or hesitation in defending his land and people. He dedicated his life to the resistance since its inception and was among the leaders who laid its foundational structure, enabling it to remain strong, dignified, and capable of defending the homeland and achieving victories. Allah bestowed upon him the lofty honor of martyrdom, and his great sacrifice will inspire his brothers in the resistance with renewed hope, determination, and strength to persist on this path. As he was in his life a source of strength and inspiration, his pure blood will empower the fighters to continue with steadfastness and courage to thwart all the schemes of the Zionist enemy and its sponsor, America. We extend our condolences and congratulations to our master, the Imam of the age, Imam al-Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance, to his brothers fighters and fellow resistance fighters, to the steadfast supporters of the resistance, and to all free people in the world on the martyrdom of this great jihadi commander and his companions who were martyred alongside him. We also extend our condolences to their honorable families, asking Allah Almighty to grant them patience and comfort, and wishing the wounded a swift recovery.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria Federal Capital Territory on Thursday convicted and sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to a passionate prison term of life imprisonment against the penalty of death sentence he said he ought to have pronounced on the Biafra Republic agitation leader over the statements Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made on October 20, 2020 through Radio Biafra during the warlike situation between the civilian population and Nigeria security operatives following series of reports that the Nigeria security operatives were shooting and killing innocent unarmed protesters, who were protesting against bad government and police brutalities tagged ENDS's protest, Justice Omatosho in his ruling said, Nnamdi Kanu was responsible for the killing of 175 security operatives during the NSIS civil-military war-like situation on October 20, 2020, and Justice Omatosho in his ruling failed to state the numbers of civilians that were killed by Nigeria security operatives during the war-like situation that apparently forced Nnamdi Kanu to start teaching the civilians on how to manufacture Molotov cocktail, also known as petrol bombs, urging them to go and meet welders to buy bulletproof doors from the welders to defend themselves, and launched a retaliatory defensive attacks against the Nigeria security operatives who were accused of turning the peaceful protest into a barrage of gunfire, human rights violations and abuses. Justice Omatosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu on counts 4 and 5 over the NSIS protest, and he described Nnamdi Kanu action during the violent protest as an act of terrorism. On count 1, Justice Omatosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu for an act of preparatory to commit terrorism over statements made by Nnamdi Kanu in May 2021. Justice Omatosho in the ruling claimed and ruled that Nnamdi Kanu declared war against security operatives in the southeast states without provocation. This statement by Justice Omatosho apparently made him look like a biased person, because after Justice Omatosho read the entire 7-count charge and convicted Nnamdi Kanu, Justice Omatosho thereafter recognized a media news report and broadcast of Nnamdi Kanu on April 25, 2021, wherein Nnamdi Kanu vowed to avenge the killing of Akonso, the then head of Eastern Security Network, ESN, by a combined team of Nigeria security operatives led by the Nigerian Army under the command of former Chief of Army Staff, late Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, who was then the General Officer commanding GOC 82 Division. The Nigerian Army insisted in its report that Akonso was killed during exchange of gunfire with the security operatives, but Nnamdi Kanu rejected the claim and repeatedly stated that Akonso was killed in his sleep and the killing was a pure case of assassination by the federal government of Nigeria as a way to weaken the people of southeast states and deny them the ability to be able to establish the Eastern Security Network, ESN, to defend themselves against Boko Haram terrorists and expansionist foreign Fulani invaders from different countries like Mali, Gambia, Senegal, Nigerian Republic and Chad that were advancing from the northern part of Nigeria and cruising through the Middle Belt states to southeast, southwest and south-south states. For the record, killing of Akonso by security operatives apparently marked the genesis of the full-scale guerrilla war between the Biafra armed group and the armed forces of Nigeria, including other Nigeria security operatives. Justice Omatosho also convicted Nnamdi Kanu for the creation of unlawful organization over the establishment of ESN in a broadcast Nnamdi Kanu made in December 2020, stating that the ESN has been created to protect the people of Southeast against Boko Haram terrorists. After the ruling, Justice Omatosho stated that the Boko Haram terrorists, among other terrorist groups, are making people not to enjoy life in Nigeria. Thereafter, the prosecution lawyer, Adigboyegba Awomolo, told the court that in the last few days or weeks, Nigeria has been a season of victim upon victims of terrorism. Adigboyegba's statement may be in line with the current high rate of attacks by terrorists advancing from the northern Nigeria to the southern part, kidnapping and killing people like never before. That aside, Justice Omatosho also ruled that Nnamdi Kanu was responsible for the killing of Ahmed Gulak, the former presidential aide who was killed on May 30, 2021 in Owerri on his way to the airport after conducting election primary. According to Justice Omatosho, Nnamdi Kanu act of declaring sit at home to mark the 2021 Biafra Heroes Day led to the killing of Ahmed Gulak. In addition, Justice Omatosho ruled that Nnamdi Kanu is responsible for the killing and beheading of military couple, Master Warrant Officer, MWO, Audu M. Linus, retired, and Private Gloria Matthew, who were on transit to Imo State for the traditional wedding on Saturday, April 30, 2022 at Olu in Imo State, a time Nnamdi Kanu had already been rearrested from Kenya and detained as of June 2021 at the custody of the Department of State Services almost a year plus before the military couple were caught and killed by gunmen suspected to be Biafra armed group. For the purpose of clarity, Justice Omotosho attributed these events of killings to Nnamdi Kanu apparently to satisfy the basic requirements of the law in line with Nigeria criminal justice system that borders on terrorism. That Nnamdi Kanu's statements were not mere threats, that, indeed, the statements caused an impact in the society. This, Justice Omotosho ruled and held that Nnamdi Kanu is responsible for the every Monday sit-at-home in the southeastern states of Nigeria, even in the face of the fact that the every Monday sit-at-home in the region began on August 9, 2021 after Nnamdi Kanu was not seen in court following his rearrest from Kenya, and people decided to enforce every Monday as a sit-at-home day in the southeast states of Nigeria to demand the unconditional release of the rearrested and detained Biafra Republic agitation leader. Details of the major parts of Justice Omotosho ruling are transcribed and presented verbatim below. Their rights to make sure it happens. In the broadcast of the 16th of May 2021, also contained in the exhibit PWW, the defendant in the beginning of the broadcast stated thus: "My name is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB and director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television. I will remain a loyal servant on the people of Biafra." He further stated around 51 minutes mark, and I quote, "If God is on our side, which I know he is, the army of Nigeria will die in Biafra land. Everybody will die. I will be the one leading it. By God's grace, everything called Nigeria will perish in Biafra land. The world must be prepared for what is to come. I want to let Katrina Lang and the British government to know that we have chosen the path of death and people are dying every day. We have to develop the mindset of, after this, which even though NATO is there, will not. NATO is there. We say that we are ready to die and everyone that comes to kill us will die also. Because things will start happening in the next 14 days, in the next 2 weeks, the slaughter will begin to happen. You see those CNN that have refused to come to Biafra will come by force to see what is happening. We will make sure that every Nigerian soldier on Biafra soil will die. God is my witness. I will lead this barrier myself." Around 55 minutes mark to the exhibits, he said, and I quote, "I want the United Government to understand that we are ready to die than be slaves," unquote. At about 1 hour mark, he said, and I quote, "Israel was named Palestinians by the Romans because they were too stubborn. Go and ask how they did it. They bombed them the Romans away. Not these roadside bombs. Every road leading to Biafra will be manned landmines. Everything that is Nigeria, whether it is police, army will blow till the kingdom come." The defendant also stated in that same broadcast, and I quote, "We are asking for our freedom. They aren't listening. But when we start doing what we want, the whole world will start begging us. And then I will come out from wherever I am and tell them that it's too late. Throw away your phones. Remain incommunicado as we are in the state of war. It will not kill you to do away with your phones. All people should go into the bush and stop the advance of this army or else they will kill you." These words spoken by the defendant in those broadcasts were not mere words, as they bear heavy traces of threats to harm people, including international representatives representing their nation in Nigeria. The said broadcasts were several in numbers, and defendant kept repeating his rhetorics that people will die if Biafra is not created. The defendant plan to commit the terrorist act did not only manifest in its broadcast, but was shown in a meeting he had with other Igbo people in the United States at a World Congress Igbo Congress meeting held at the Four Points Hotel in Los Angeles in the United States of America, as contained in Exhibit PWW. The defendant, while speaking to the audience, stated, and I quote, "We must not miss this golden opportunity. We are bound to suffer in this time to come. You must come out to support what we are doing. We need guns and we need bullets. I know we love life so much. Without it, Hausa will overrun us. They have succeeded in imposing aggression on us. They are coming. Boko Haram is coming in Igboland. A female participant stood up to ask the defendant of his objective as well as why means for weapons. The defendant responded, and I quote, "We now know that the best way to defend ourselves is to be armed because Boko Haram is everywhere in zoo called Nigeria. So we need guns and bullets, and those of you in America will give it to us." Also, on the 22nd day of this month, something will happen called the blood moon. Most of you don't know that just before the Civil War there was blood moon. There was blood moon in 67, and it only happens once in a while because after this year we will be free. No matter what happened, if we don't get Biafra, everyone will live to die. We are not joking. His intention was quite clear. He believes only in violence as the solution to the creation of Biafra as a nation. And at the said World Igbo Congress, most of the participants were quite alarmed by the expressions as is planned. And so they kept asking if he had considered the option of peaceful dialogue, to which the defendant was adamant that only violence could lead to the achievement of his aim. These threats of violence are nothing but terrorist acts which was duly carried out by his followers. As will be seen later in this judgment, the defendant knew what he was doing while making these violent statements. He obviously had an objective which won the face of, it is political, that is, secession of the state of Southeast, South-South and some Middle Belt states from the Federal Republic of Nigeria to form Biafra. The defendant was also bent on achieving his objective with the use of violence. And he didn't mind if his own people die in that process. As one of the crucial elements in establishing crime, the intention and the knowledge with which defendant carried out the acts can be expressed by him, if not so expressed by, can be deduced from its conduct or activities or other connected circumstances. See Burundi and Federal Republic of Nigeria. From the uncontroverted evidence led by the prosecution, particularly the procast contained in Exhibit PWW, it is clear that the defendant committed acts preparatory to an importance of terrorist acts. The defendant had the opportunity to explain but failed and deliberately refused to take that opportunity. Thus, he did not place any evidence before this court to explain the contents of the contest of the said broadcast or any reason which may be exculpatory in his favor. Having failed and deliberately refused to enter defense or give explanation, the court will rely on the uncontroverted evidence of the prosecution. This court therefore holds that the prosecution has established count 1 of the charge beyond reasonable doubts. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted in respect of count 1, with respect to count 1 of the charge. The defendant was charged with making a broadcast received and had in Nigeria with intent to intimidate the population, issue deadly threats that anyone who flout a sit-at-home order should write his will, as a result of which banks, schools, markets, shopping malls, fuel stations domicile in the eastern states of Nigeria were not open for businesses, citizens and vehicular movements in the eastern state of Nigeria were grounded. This offense is also punishable under Section 12 of the Terrorism Prevention Act. The ingredients are similar as contained in count 1, except that the prosecution must establish that the defendant indeed issue a threat to anyone who flouted his sit-at-home order in the southeastern state of Nigeria. The evidence as led by the prosecution shows that the defendant issued a sit-at-home order wherein he threatened the residents of the southeast states from going out. He further threatened that any church, markets, schools, banks or shops which opened will be destroyed. This was the purpose of his broadcast of 30th day of May 2021, where he stated that he had an announcement to make regarding the short stand of the entire Southeast. He stated exactly at 9 minutes 10 seconds in the broadcast contained in Exhibit PWW. And I quote, "Tomorrow being the 31st day of May, there is complete lockdown. No church, no markets and nobody should be seen outside tomorrow. I do not want violence. I do not want anybody to resort to violence. I condemn it completely and totally. We do not want to spit the blood of the innocent. Therefore, I am urging restraint across border. I am urging our people to honor the memory of people who died. There will be no school, no church, market, banks, car on the roads. There will be complete shutdown. If you want to be alive, do not come out tomorrow. What I'm saying is that do not come out tomorrow if you value your life. There will be complete shutdown of Biafra land tomorrow. Any community that allow vehicle to pass tomorrow will be in trouble. Anybody in any car or lorry except in ambulance will be in trouble. I know some people are very foolish trying to open their shops around 12. If you open that very shop, we will burn you inside it. Especially Enugu, Umuohia, Abakaliki people. You are very stupid. Tomorrow we will show you. This statement at first sounded peaceful and even seemed as if he was only persuading people to honor the memory of some people. However, defendant in his typical aggressive way of speaking began issuing threats to those who might not want to obey his order, that might not want to obey his order. The people of the southeast are Nigerians and I take judicial notice substantially are Christians who go to church and merchants that are into trade, and there are children who were threatened again against going to church, their places of business and schools. This court wonders if this can be said to be agitation for self-agitations. Unequivocally, I say no. The people of the southeast of Nigeria are entitled to their right to personal liberty, freedom of movement under Section 35 and Section 41 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The third section provides, and I quote, "Every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty and no person shall be deprived of such liberty save in the following cases and in accordance with the procedure permitted by law. A. In execution of the sentence and order of court in respect of criminal offense of which he has been found guilty. B. By reason of his failure to comply with the order of court and in order to secure the fulfillment of any obligation imposed upon him by law. C. For the purpose of bringing in before a court in execution of order of court or upon reasonable substitution of his having committed a criminal offense. D. In the case of a person who has not attained the age of 18 years for the purpose of his education or welfare, he in the case of persons suffering from infectious or contagious disease, person of unsound mind, person addicted to drugs or alcohol, vagrants for those or purpose of those care or treatment or protection of community. F. For the purpose of preventing the unlawful entry of any person to Nigeria or of effecting the expulsion, extradition or unlawful removal from Nigeria of any person or the taking of proceedings relating thereto, provided that a person who is charged with an offense and who has been detained in law or in lawful custody awaiting trial shall not continue to be kept in such detention for a period longer than the maximum period of imprisonment prescribed for him. Section 41 provides every citizen is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria to reside in any part therefore thereof, and no citizens shall be expelled from Nigeria or refuse entry thereby or exit. Therefore, they are also entitled to their right to freedom of religion as expressed under Section 38 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic Nigeria. The right to personal liberty, movement, religion are complementary of each other. Jealousy guides these rights and their basic rights which enact to them as being human beings. These rights are so fundamental. Kindly see my Lord Agagu JCA has initiated on this in Okafor versus Lagos State Government, and another citation. The people of the Southeast cannot be ordered to sit at home by a person, especially for someone who is not a legally recognized official of the federal government or an official of any of the states. The only person entitled to restrict movements of person within Nigeria is the President or the Federal Republic of Nigeria under emergency power under Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The President can order for a curfew area where there is a crisis or natural disaster. The defendant is not the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, thus lacks any power to so declare a sit-at-home in any part of the country. The defendant arrogated to himself power he lacks, and with the threat of violence order the residents of the southeastern state to stay at home or face the consequences of the disobedience. This is an unconstitutional act which is subversive and amounts to nothing more than a terrorist act. It is also a notorious fact that the people of Southeast have been subjected to sit-at-home threats on Mondays for years now. PW4, who stated that he was stationed in the Southeast, especially in Imo State for some years, gave evidence that Monday sit-at-home is a usual occurrence wherein the town are deserted, even the farmlands. PW4 also gave evidence on the death of one Ahmed Gulak, a former aide to the former President Goodluck Jonathan, that the said Ahmed Gulak had been killed by IPOB men in portion to the order of defendant. Ahmed Gulak was trying to catch a flight out of Owerri on the 30th day of May 2021 when he ran into a checkpoint by IPOB and was shot dead. PW4 stated that he was one of those who got to the scene first. It must be noted that 30th of May 2021 was a Sunday, not a Monday, but notwithstanding it leads to the death of a person trying to move around due to the directive of defender as shown in exhibit. PWK is a medical report from the Nigerian Police Medical Services Owerri. The report is dated the 18th of July 2021 and it states to whom it consign, medical report, late Ahmed Gulak, hospital number, the victim allegedly shot dead by hoodlums suspected to be IPOB, ESN members on the 30th of October 2021 at about 7 hours along Airport Road, Owerri. Picture of lifeless man seen. Body of disease buried. Informations above medical reports duly signed by the medical practitioner clearly states the immediate cause of the death of Ahmed Gulak and links him to the defendant as leader of IPOB and ESN. The action of the defendant cannot be excused under any circumstances. The declaration of a sit-at-home without any constitutional power, especially the accompanied by the threat, is a terrorist act. The defendant did not present any evidence to challenge, report this case of the prosecution. Consequently, he admits the evidence as presented by the prosecution. The prosecution has successfully proved can to beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted of count 2 with respect to count 3. The defendant is charged with professing to be a member of and leader of Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB, a prescribed organization in which thereby committing an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 16 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013, Section 16 of the Terrorism, Prevention Acts, and Prevention Amendment Act provides, and I quote, any person who is a member or professes to be a member of terrorist groups commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a time not less than 21 years. The ingredients of the offense from the above provide provisions are 1. The defender must be a person. 2. The defender must be a member or professes to be a member of a terrorist group. 3. The terrorist group must have been proscribed as at the time the defendant professes membership was tied as earlier established. Second ingredients. Prosecution has led evidence showing that the defendant was not just a member but he was the leader of a terrorist organization known as Indigenous People of Biafra. Indeed, in the broadcast of the 16th of May 2021 as contained in the ZBPWW, the defendant in the beginning of the clip stated this, and I quote, my name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of Indigenous People of Biafra and director of Radio Biafra, Biafra Television. I will remain a loyal servant of the people. He further stated around 51 minutes mark into the video, if God is on our side, which I know he is, the army of Nigeria will die in Biafra land. Everybody will die. I will be the one leading it. By God's grace, everything called Nigeria will perish in Biafra land. The world must be prepared for what is to come. Unquote. In several other broadcasts, the defendant admitted being the leader of Indigenous People of Biafra. There is no fact before this court showing the defendant is not member and in fact leader of the said group. The defendant from the evidence before this court also possessed power to order the coordinator of IPOB. In a broadcast dated the 11th of May 2021 in Exhibit PWW, the defendant while commenting on the meeting of Southern Governor held in Asaba stated around 35 minutes to the exhibits while played, and I quote concerning the lockdown announced yesterday. I urge all people of Biafra and all those in Biafra land to disobey the lockdown given by Zoological Republic of Nigeria. The reason is because they want to use the dead of the night to move their fighters into our forest. Because we have defeated their foot soldiers. We must resist this stupid lockdown and it will not hold in Biafra. I am calling on all the coordinator, deputy coordinator of ESN and IPOB not to sleep in their houses today, but to look for somewhere else to stay. Because now we are in the trenches. Now you will know what is freedom fighting for. It is not comfortable. It is not rosy. Do not sleep at home. Do not sleep at home. Change your phone and even your phone itself. The defendant no doubt belonged to the group and is a leader of the group with the influence of commanding the coordinators of the group. Not only IPOB but even Eastern Security Network, which is the armed wing of IPOB. In the broadcast of the 12th of December 2020, the defendant made an announcement in inaugurating the military group known as Eastern Security Network, which is the armed wing of the indigenous people of Biafra. He stated, and I quote, "We have cowards, fine line idiots. As governors, they have given over our land to the Janjaweed to occupy in perpetual perpetuity. This very generation, this very IPOB will not tolerate it. Not now, not tomorrow, not forever. We will rather all perish and die than to allow our land to be taken over by the Janjaweed. This is a warning to all the governors who are conspiring due to one political consideration to give our land to infidel and blood-sucking demos from this town. It cannot happen, not under our watch. We are being told that some of these invaders come from Senegal, Gambia, Mali, from Nigerian Republicans and from Chad, according to Governor of Katsina State. Therefore, we are setting up the Eastern Security Networks to combat the excesses of these vagabonds, criminals from crossing, along the same line as Amotekun, the one set up by Mieti Allah. What we are launching before the war today is Eastern Security Network, not a Biafra army. And we will let the world know when the army is too much. Too much. But for our present purposes, we are setting it up to defend our land Biafra against marauders from the Sahel and the term incursion led by terrorists, Fulani to be precise. In the coming days you shall see them in their uniform performing the critical issue of providing security for our land. The defendant, who was feasibly agitated, continue in the broadcast by stating no governor in the southeast and south-south have been able to form a security outfit. Therefore I must defend our land to the very last blood. We shall not stop, not now, not tomorrow, not forever, until our land is get rid of vultures of this Fulani terrorist. In the third video broadcast there was a side video of the man of the Eastern Security Network dressed in black with red cap waving black flag with insignia of Eastern Security Network. This is therefore no doubt the prosecution has established the second ingredient beyond reasonable doubt. With respect to the third ingredient, the evidence before this court shows that IPOB is a proscribed group. I take judicial notice of Section under Section 122 of the Evidence Act of the order made by my learned brother Nyako J in suit number FAC ABJCS A71 2017 between Attorney General of the Federation versus Indigenous People of Biafra today dated the 20th of September 2017, wherein the activities of indigenous people of Biafra were prescribed. He sent order crystallized, which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette number 99 in volume 104 dated the 20th of September 2017, titled Terrorism Prevention Order, number Terrorism Prevention Order of 2017. The Gazette writes, and I quotes, "Nothing is hereby given that by the order of Federal High Courts in suit number FACABJCS 871 2017. Dated the 20th of September 2017. As per the schedule to this notice, the activities of indigenous people of Biafra are declared to be terrorist and illegal in any part of the country Nigeria, especially in the southeast, south-south region of Nigeria as prescribed, portion to Section 2 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended. 2. Consequently, the general public is hereby warned that any person or group of persons participating in any manner whatever in any form of activities involving or concerning the prosecution of the collective intention or otherwise of the said group will be violating the provision of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended and liable to prosecution. The import of the above is that beginning from the commencement date of the 20th of September 2017, any person claiming to be a member of IPOB commits a terrorist act. The defendant by his broadcast of the 11th of May 2020, the 12th of December 2020, professed to be a member of prescribed group. Thus is the breach of Section 161 of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, consequently is hereby convicted of Count 3. On Count 4 and 5, which are closely related, the defendant is charged with inciting members of the public in Nigeria to halt and kill Nigeria security personnel and their family members, thereby committing offense under Section 1 Sub 2H of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. The section provides as follows: any person of body corporate who knowingly or outside Nigeria direct or indirectly willingly incite, promises or induces any other person by any means whatsoever to commit the act of terrorism or any of the offenses referred to in the acts, commits an offense under the act and is liable to conviction to maximum of death sentence. The ingredients of the offense which the prosecution must establish beyond reasonable doubt are 1. The defendant must be person of body corporate. 2. The defendant must have directly or indirectly incites, promise or induced other person by any means whatsoever to commit the Consent Terrorism Act. 3. The defendant must have directly or indirectly incited, promised or induced other persons by any means whatsoever to commit the terrorist act willingly or knowingly. The defendant have been established to be a human being by the prosecution for the second ingredient. It is important to understand what incitement means, and according to Supreme Court by Nikitobi DSE of blessed memory, the incassa and the state citations applied hold, and I quote, an encouragement here means an art of making someone to feel brave or confident enough to do something by giving active approval in support of the crime. Incitement also have the element of encouragement by incitement. The person is provoked by a strong passion or feeling to commit an offense. The word set is a word of quite a number of synonyms. The two words set on connotes the resemblance of casing to attack or chase. Like one maybe say the future man, prepare the bait to set on the fish. It also adds the element of antagonism and instigation. The art of instigating means something happened by the actions or conduct of a person who is the starter. By the act of instigation, the co-accused is prepared or gingered to commit an offense. Likewise, the online Oxford Dictionary defines its incitements as follows: the action of provoking unlawful behavior, urging someone to behave unlawfully. The Cambridge Dictionary also defines incitements as follows, and I quote, the art of encouraging someone to do or to feel something unpleasant or violent. Drawing from the above definitions, the incitements involve provoking or instigating people to do an unlawful act in their instant terrorist acts. The prosecution has led evidence showing that the defendant made broadcasts inciting public to take up arms against the security personnel in Nigeria to kill them and their family members. The broadcast of 21st day of October 2020 is contained in the PWW. The defendant said, and I quote, Radio Biafra is now in the hand of the enemy of our freedom. I don't know how much they paid for it, but I know that Britain spent over 4.8 billion a few days ago to suppress what is happening. That is what they have done. I told you a while back that Britain was now in charge of what is happening in the zoo. And you thought that I was joking. They have now come with their clampdown, but they are now going. They are not going to succeed. Radio Biafra belonged to us. But why is it not playing out our program right now? The defendant also stated, I am telling you people to go to the bush. Whenever you see a military convoy, you attack them. Whenever you see a police convoy, attack them. They are human beings, and they also beat any person with a police uniform or any army. Any army uniform is an enemy of the people. Unquote. Around 57 minutes to this video mark, The defender stated, and I quote, "They came to Tinubu. It is surprised that after British High Commissioner came to Tinubu, they opened fire on protesters in Lagos. You should know that the woman is a devil. A big, big devil. She too will go. We get a common pence." The defendant was referring to Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner at that time. The defendant also said, "From what will happen in Aba between today and tomorrow, we tell you how serious we are. Every police officer with uniform. Once you come out from your house with police uniform, you a dead man." Working callers were calling in from places like Aba, like toll gates and other parts of Lagos, Ibadan, Abuja, Jos, Abia State. Even one Jacob called from Nasarawa State. And the defendant kept giving orders for these callers and other listeners to kill every police and soldiers. The defendant even told the people how to build and improvise bombs. He asked them to go to filling station to get fuel in a bottle and put a rag in it. Then they should set the rag at a blaze and throw it at soldiers. In responding to a caller call from Abuja in that same broadcast of the 20th of October 2021, the defendant, while inciting his listener to attack the relative of security personnel, stated, and I quote, that every commander they have given his name feeds. Find his children. I want to get him in trouble. When they take me to court and ask why I said such thing, I will tell them why. Find the commander. His name is Ifu Umata. Find his children. Find his children. The commander of those on the ground find their children very, very important. Find their children, unquote. This defendant went further that, and I quote, start attacking the police. Take the guns, use them against them. Manufacture Molotov cocktail, manufacture bombs to bomb them, unquote. The defendant asked about 2 hours, 44 minutes, 35-second mark, while concurring with a caller who informed him of the intention of him, other IPOB members to burn down the Ezima police station. Stated not only one, I want every police station in Aba to be destroyed, completely destroyed, and burn them down. It is an order, destroying them completely. Anybody who see them with police uniform, kill the person. Nigeria wants anarchy, we will give them. And in another broadcast, the defendant, while responding to a caller, stated this. You people must devise strategy to outfit the army. There are some guns in those states right now as we speak. Use those guns to kill 1 or 2 of their army officers. Take the guns and begin to kill other people as well. Begin, because they cannot sustain this protest for 3 years, 3 weeks. There are guns in Edo states already. Kill the army whenever you see them. Take the guns and kill them. The incitement of the defendant for the public to kill security personnel is quite clear from its big blockers. Not only incitement to kill security officers, the defendant even went as far as inciting the public to destroy all properties of federal government. During the NSIS protest of the 20th of October 2020, the defendant in another live dated the 20th of October 2020, the defendant, while responding to calls from his foot soldier during the protest, stated, and I quote, if you leave the Janjaweed and their agents the way they operate, if you leave them, believe you will, you believe me, you will suffer. That very hotel must be brought down. I did not say set ablaze. It must be demolished as an example to the rest. If you have not dealt with Tinubu in Lagos, the other will not learn their lesson. Tinubu is an evil man. The hotel refers here to his Oriental Hotel in Lagos, which the defendant alleged belonged to Tinubu. While responding to a caller, the defendant urged his callers to ambush forces during the protest and cut them off. He said, and I quote, go to the bush. You need to cut them off from the back, ambush them, take the guns from them and kill them. They are animals and not human beings. They may be wearing uniforms like police or soldier, but they are animals. Disarm them and kill them. If you allow them to escape, your life is over. And I want Lagos airports to be on flame. Breach the perimeter fence and burn down the Lagos airport. If you have double barrel or pistol, go to the airport and burn it down. Set Muratala Muhammad Airport on fire. Set it ablaze. Right now you are dealing with animals. Fulani Janjaweed, they do not reason unquote. It is important to state that the said hotels and Murtala Muhammed Airport and other property in Lagos. They are not in the north. They are not in the north where it seemed to hate with passion. Even his own fellow Igbos people have property in Lagos. With destroying the property is said to be agitation for self-determinations. The threats and destruction which follow were corroborated in Exhibit PWD2, which is a pictorial picture of the assessment of damage done to the Nigerian police alone in the state of southern states. So many of these police stations and even police officers were killed as a result of the incitement by the defendant. Also Exhibit PWD2A, which is a compilation of death reports and certificate of death of security officers. In the report, the number of police officers who were killed was given as 128, military officers were 37, other security officers as 10, number of police stations attacked were 164, and NEC facilities destroyed were 9 in number. This clearly shows the extent of damage caused by the defendant. Through his inciting statements, another caller called into the program informing the defendant that he was at a Shodia Papa expressway and that they are killing them. The defendant, annoyed by this information, stated and I quote, "How many police or army did you kill? I don't want to hear that they are killing you. How many did you kill?" The caller then responded that they have bombed the Arile police station and Alasa police station. The defendant then told the caller not to wave the green-white-green flag of Nigeria but a blood-stained flag with the color green-white. He further responded to another caller by saying, "What I want them to do is to set ablaze building along Marina on fire. Every federal government property in Lagos should be burnt. That is what is going to be signaled to the world that people have had enough. I want every federal government building in Lagos will be on fire. Every federal government vehicle or anything belonging to federal government, burn it. Go to the Murtala Muhammed Airport. Burn it. How many soldiers do they have? Manufacture your own weapons and ambush them." The result of this incitement is the killing of several military officers, police officers, DSS officers. The incitements also led to the destruction of several police stations in Lagos across the southern states of Nigeria. According to PW5, he led a team of officers to investigate the destruction and killing of the security personnel that occurred during the NSIS protest of the 20th of October 2020. As contained in NDB PWD2 and PWD2K. The results were quite alarming. The court is mindful not to attribute all the happening during the NSIS protest on the defendant. However, there is no doubt that the incitement by the defendant contributed largely to the killing of security operatives as well as destruction of public properties. The defendant incited people to destroy properties such as the Alasa police station, other police stations and properties of this government. The evidence before this court shows that the said properties were actually destroyed, such as Alasa police station, the High Court of Lagos in Igbosere, as well as PRT buses belonging to Lagos state government in Oyingbo. PW2 also testified that military couples were killed by those incited by the defendant in Orlu in Imo state. In addition, PW4 stated that his driver and one of his tactical officers were killed as a result of the incitements. The action of the defendant were clear, as it was aimed to cause anarchy by killing security operatives in Nigeria, which would in turn lead to breakdown of law and order. The defendant's act and of an evil intention to wreak havoc on the people and government of Nigeria. Are all these actions consistent with agitation for self-determinations? The actions to this, the answer to this, is in negative. His violent outbursts as well as his instigations of the public to attack and kill security officers in southern Nigeria without provocation was done, barbaric and without any conscience whatsoever. The defendant did not feel any concern for the family of the officers who were strained. He turned himself to a tyrant who could take life anytime he pleased. Such persons cannot be allowed to remain in society of sane minds. His shocking instigations to kill other human beings was incomprehensible, and these court hereby condemn it. But I must say that evidence extracted in this judgment is minute and very small to the avalanche of evidence and broadcast before these courts by the defendant. The defendant made extremely threatening statements, incited people to violence. The prosecution unsuccessfully discharged his body of proof in counts 4 and 5 beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted of the said count 4, 5. Now count 6. For count 6, the defendant charged with the offense of making a broadcast received and heard in Nigeria within the juris of this court in furtherance of an art of terrorism against the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, in which he directed members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, a proscribed organization, to manufacture bombs, thereby committing an offense punishable under Section 1, 2F of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. Section 1, 2F of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 provides a person or body corporate who knowingly in or outside Nigeria, directly or indirectly willingly assists, felicitates, organizes or directs the activities of person, organization engaged in any act of terrorism. The ingredients of the offense expected to be established are 1. The defendant must be a person or body corporate. 2. The defendant must have assisted, facilitated, organized or directed the activities of person or organization engaged in terrorist activities. 3. The defender must have willingly or willingly assisted, facilitated, organized or directed the activities of persons, organization engaging terrorist acts. The defendants herein have been established to be a human being. As to the second and third ingredient, the prosecution has led evidence to show that defendant has directed membership of the terrorist organization to build bombs, other explosives in order to attack security operatives, indeed in full dance of its terrorist actions and following the incitement of person to kill defendant security operative. The defendant also directed his members to build explosive devices, particularly Molotov cocktail, about 1/30th of a minute, 36 seconds of the broadcast of the 20th of October 2020 as contained in Exhibit PWW. The defendant, while responding to a caller about NSY's protest, stated, and I quote, "Now this night, I want graduates to go to work, graduates of chemical engineering, those who were born as engineers. Manufacture any ordnance you can because they are coming to kill you anyway regardless of what you do. Go and manufacture any ordnance. I am calling on the youth in the Middle Belt and I want any bridge that they can use to reinforce to be destroyed. They are going to come from the Middle Belt this night. We have engineers everywhere, people who are intelligent. Go back now and give us your own version of Molotov cocktail. We must destroy them before they destroy us. Every youth tonight, anybody with a police uniform anywhere, especially in Aba, in Lagos. Once you have police uniform or any army uniform, that person is your enemy. Attack them because if you don't, they will kill you. If you are a graduate of physics or chemistry, no sleep for you tonight. Go and manufacture something to destroy the police and every army, police position, starting from this night." During the said broadcast, while responding to a caller named Jacob from Nasarawa State, the defendant even told the people how to build an improvised bomb. He asked them to go to filling station to get fuel in a bottle, put a rag in it that then they should set the rag ablaze and throw it at a soldier. A Molotov cocktail, according to Wikipedia.com, that I assess at 1 a.m. on the 20th of November 2025. A hand-drawn incendiary weapon consisting of a fragile container filled with flammable substances equipped with a fuse in use. The fuse attached to the container is lit and the weapon is thrown scattering on impact. The online Britannica dictionary defined Molotov's cocktail as a crude bomb typically consisting of bottle filled with inflammable liquids and a wick that is ignited before throwing. Applying the above definition, the directive of the defendant to members of the group to build improvised bombs such as Molotov's cocktail is indeed a terrorist act. A Molotov cocktail is capable of causing explosions damaged like any other bombs which aim is to cause destruction. This directive, like all that directive, is the manifestation of anarchy-minded of the anarchy-minded of the defendant which he set out to express through his Biafra radio, which he claimed to be the founder and director. The defendant through the Radio Biafra platform carried out so many terrorist attacks which led to the destruction of lives and property in Nigeria. The defendant is not only confirmed to local terrorists, but I hold without hesitation that he is an international terrorist flowing from his threat to attack British High Commission and American Embassy, as well as his incitement against the British High Commissioner to Nigeria at the time, Katrina Lang, a known woman of peace. In a broadcast of the 21st of October 2020, the defender stated thus, and I quote, "Radio Biafra is now in the hand of the enemy of our freedom. I don't know how much they paid for it, but I know that Britain spent about 4.8 billion a few days ago to suppress what is happening. That is what they have done. I told you a while back that Britain was now in charge of what is happening in the zoo. And you thought that it was joke. They have now come with their clampdown, but they are not going to succeed. Radio Biafra belonged to us. But why is it not playing our program right now?" The defendant also stated, "I am telling you people to go to the bush. Wherever you see a military convoy, you attack them. Whenever you see a police convoy, attack them. They are human beings and they also bleed. Any person with a police uniform or any army uniform is your enemy." Around 57 minutes mark into that, the defendant directed his threat at Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner. He stated, and I quote, "They came to Tinubu. It is a surprise that after the British Commissioner came to Tinubu, they opened fire on protesters in Lagos. You should not be shocked. The woman is dead. Is demure. A big pig. Demon. 1 hour 8 minutes 335 second mark." The defendant also stated, and I quote, "This the same thing that Britain did to Ria in what they are doing to us now. Media blackout. Do you want the world to report this issue? Take over the British High Commission. That is all. Take over the consulate in Lagos. Take over the one in Abuja. Every newspaper in the world will report it in the morning. If you march on the British High Commissioner Commission, in morning front pages in the world, will carry it. And the world will ask, why is British Commission in Abuja and Lagos under occupation by Nigerian youth? Then it is over. I'm giving you a master strategy of how things should be done in a formation of 3 lines. There is something I want you to do. I'm announcing it on air so you understand. People should go to every weather shop. You know those who build bulletproof door. I don't care how much it costs. We will pay. Everybody who is a weather who builds bulletproof. People should take those doors and put nails in front of them and stand in front of protesters so that bullets cannot go through. Push the door, get the weapons and deal with them. When you are marching to the British High Commissioner Commission tomorrow, form 3 lines. They will have the army surrounding them. They will send a cable to London that British High Commission in Lagos is under attack. They will be forced to release it. Then the whole world will know that a revolution is going on. Without that, you cannot succeed." Unquote. Even recently in this courtroom, on the 7th day of November 2025, when the matter came up before this court, the court wondered the kind of malice and hatred which the defendant had for Britain. I will produce same part of the proceedings of that day here too. Defendant, he says there are issues at play which my lord has not able to overcome. Which even the prosecution has not even attempted to overcome. My lord, are you asking me to go into the doors to defend myself on a non-existent law? If you can state that for the record, my lord, I will be most grateful that you are going to try me or ask me to enter my defense. Where no law exists. Because if that is the position, my lord, that means that the outcome of my trial is predetermined. A man of my stats, my station and caliber cannot be tried without any valid law. It is impossible, my lord. I will tell you why. This was the case. This very case is bigger than this court. The cause of the case of mine started in 1957 when some brave men and women in this very country dared to ask the British to live. The funniest thing is that all of them, that very effort, they all went to jail and were killed. Court, I'm learning this now. Then ask the British to leave defendant. Yes, in 1957, drive. Anthony Enahoro moved a motion at the House in Lagos asking the white men to go and leave us alone. From that day, trouble started even before then. The like of Harbert Macaulay was jailed. Honorable men that fought for the indignity of the black race. Because they want me convicted. They told me so. Absolutely, my lord, absolutely. 100% they told me. They said, I will come to court to hear your case. When prosecutions open their case. When you start your cross-examination. When you refuse your no-case submission. I am telling you what happened a year and a half ago. When you file your no-case submission and is rejected, you will not go into trial. You will be there during the verdict. You will be there during convictions. The court now responded, let me just clarify this. It is also on record you said that the British said that 1 year and a half ago that I was not the one presiding here. I want to say this, that I know my brother too. That was a certain. It will not get into that level of having anything to do anything, because the way you are putting it, I want to say this. I do not have any relationship with the British. I have come here to do justice. I reiterate, can you commence your defense so that if you commence today, I can extend time for you, because your time has ended today. For the US Embassy, it will have been attacked if not for the closure as a result of the protest. The defendant at about 2:22 2 hours 24 minutes 50 seconds mark of the video of 21st day of October 2020 broadcast in LGBTWW stated, American Embassy is shut down. Why won't they shut down? People are protesting. This statement regarding the Embassy of United States of America is quite loaded. The statement could mean several things, none which are palatable or peaceful. What exactly does the defendant mean by the American Embassy is shut down? Was he trying to attack the embassy if it has not shut down as a result of protest, or incite order to do same as he did in British Embassy? The inference to be drawn from the statement is that the defendant meant to do harm to the Embassy of United States by attacking or invading the embassy. Under international law, the premises of an embassy or high commission of a foreign nation is deemed invaluable. That means that even though the land belongs to host country, it cannot invade such premises. See Article 22 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relationship. Article 22 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961. It provides the premises of missions shall be invaluable. The agent of the receiving state may not enter them except with the consent of the head of the mission. 2. The receiving state is under special duty to take all appropriate steps to protect the premises of the mission against any intrusion or damage, and to prevent any disturbance of the peace of the mission or impairment of its dignity. 3. The premises of the mission, their furnishings and other properties therein, and the means of transport or the mission shall be immune from searched acquisitions, attachment or execution. From the above it can be said that defendant incited for people to invade. British High Commission and his threat against British High Commissioner Katrina and American Embassy is an act of international terrorism. This is the purpose of Section 3 of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, which provides, and I quote, any person who intentionally murder, kidnap, commits other attacks on persons or liberty of an international protected persons. B. Carries out violent attack on official premises, private accommodation or means of transport of an international protected person in a manner likely to endanger his person or liberty. C. Threatening to commit any such attack, commit an offense and is liable on conviction to life imprisonment. The High Commissioner is an international protected person, being the representative of the British government in Nigeria, as well as other staff of High Commission and Embassy of United States of America, leaving the defendant to continue his terrorist activity, who have led to an international incident involving Nigeria and other foreign nations who are good partners with Nigeria. The question to ask again is whether bombing or attacking embassies of high commissions constitutes an act consistent with agitation for self-determination. Again, the answer is no. All these acts goes to show that the criminal tendency of the defendant, as well as show concrete proof of his terrorist acts. Therefore, I hold without hesitation that the prosecution has successfully established count 6 against the defendant. Consequently, He is hereby convicted of count 6 of the charge with respect to concern of the charge. The defendant is charged with importing into Nigeria and keeping in Ozubulu in Ihiala local government of Anambra state within jurisdiction of this honorable court a radio transmitter known as Tram 5 Tram 50. Concealed in a container of used household items which he declared as used household items, thereby committing an offence contrary to section 47(2)(a) of Custom and Excise Management at Cap C 45 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. The dispute as to which law provides for the offence in count 7 has been conclusively decided by the Supreme Court in case of Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Kano Chopra, whereby Lord M.L. Gaba JSE, while reading the lead judgment, held, and I quote, "A calm reading of the details of the facts stated as constituting the offence mentioned or named therein would clearly and undoubtedly review that it deals with the offence punishable under the provision of section 47(2) of the Custom Excise and Management Act Cap C 45 laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, which provides as follows: 47(2). If a person imports or causes to be imported any goods conceived in a container holding goods of different descriptions, shall be sentenced to imprisonment for 5 years without the option of fine. It follows in the above circumstances that the mention of the Criminal Court Act has been Chapter C 45 or Chapter C 45 in Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 is a mere mistake in place of correct law. The Customs and Excise Management Acts under which the facts alleged to constitute an offence in count 15 is punished and punishable. The offence in count 15 is consequently recognizable and grounded in an extant existing law in Nigeria in which it was defined and described unquote. Thus, the court will follow the decision of the Supreme Court and decide count 7 based on section 47 of the Custom and Excise Management Act. The ingredients of the offence are: the defendant must have imported or caused to be imported goods concealed in a container. 2. The imported concealed goods must have been of a different descriptions. The evidence led by the prosecution through PW4 is that the defendant imported into Nigeria a radio transmitter known as Tram 550L concealed in container which contained used household items which he described as such. PW4 stated that indeed the Department of State Service had tracked the transformer transmitter of Radio Biafra to a compound in Ubulisuzor in Ihiala local government of Anambra state belonging to one Benjamin Madagulu. The officer secured a search warrant exhibit PWT and proceeded to the compound where they recovered the container. Parallel to going to the scene, PW4 testified that he watched a video of the defendant inspecting the container and the transmitter with Benjamin Madagulu. The court visited where the container was kept in the custody of the DSS and same was admitted in evidence in the presence of defendant as exhibit and it did not object to same. The container itself contains several household items which appear to be covered for the transmitter concealed in it. The projection has led evidence to show that the transmitter was smuggled into the country without same being declared to custom. The surrounding facts also show that the purpose for which the defendant intended to use the transmitter was to broadcast program on Radio Biafra and this make it concealed the transmitter. There is also no evidence that Radio Biafra is registered with Nigeria Broadcasting Commission as stated by PW4. Thus it is safe to conclude that the concealment of transmitter is in fundraise of the legal operation of Radio Biafra by the defendant. The defendant, as a consequence of resting his case on the prosecution, did not call any witness to report the evidence of the prosecution, neither did he lead any evidence to counter the evidence of the prosecution execution. There is no evidence before this court stating the transmitter was locally imported into Nigeria. The defendant had the duty to present evidence and fight to report the allegation made against him, but he failed and deliberately refused to do same. The court is therefore bound to believe the evidence of the prosecution. Consequently, the courts hereby convict the defendant of count 7 of the charge. I must say here that defendant has always claimed to be a freedom fighter. He is only seeking justice for his people. Indeed, this is known in law as the right to self-determinations. The right to self-determination is a political right recognized in several international instruments. Article 1 of the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights 1966 provides, and I quote, "All people have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right they freely determine the political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural developments." The right to self-determination also entails the right of a group of people to form their political entity or their own government. Article 20 of the African Charter on Women and People's Rights also provides, and I quote, "All people shall have the right to assistance. They shall have the unquestionable and inalienable rights to self-determination. They shall freely determine their political status and shall pursue their economic and social development according to the policy they have freely chosen." 2. Colonized or oppressed people shall have the right to free themselves from the bond of domination by resorting to any means recognized by the international community. 3. All people shall have the right to the assistance of the state parties to the present charter in their liberation struggle against foreign domination, be it political, economy or cultural. Nigeria has dominated the African Charter, which is known as the African Charter on Women and People's Rights. Ratification and enforcement rights, which means the provision of the Charter are enforceable in Nigeria provided they do not conflict with the clear provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Section 21 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended makes it clear that Nigeria is an indivisible state, which means there is no room for divisions. The said section provides, and I quote, "Nigeria is one indivisible, indissoluble sovereign state to be known by the name Federal Republic of Nigeria." This means that anyone agitating for a breakup of the Federation of Nigeria is going against the Constitution. However, any person agitating for self-determination can do so through the National Assembly seeking for amendments of the Constitution regarding the indivisibility of Nigeria and to reflect the recognition condition of the agitating states. It is after this that the procedure can be said to be completed, but not excluding referendum. Any self-determination not done in accordance with the Constitution and laws of the country will be illegal. The defendant is not only agitating for secession of the state of the Southeast, South and some Middle Belt states, he's doing so using terrorism as a weapon. Terrorism has become a muster in the world today, and several groups have continued to use this weapon to form separate governments in Nigeria. Groups like Boko Haram, Lakurawa, IPOB have in recent years troubled Nigeria with terrorist activities. This terror group by their activities has denied innocent people the enjoyment of their fundamental rights. The action of the defendant and his terrorist organization have led to the bloodshed of innocent citizens as well as security personnel who were going about their legitimate duty. His incitement through the broadcast on Radio Biafra as well as the social media platform of the group has led to the destruction of lives and property as well as affect the daily life of his people of Southeast. The defendant did not only threaten the government of Nigeria but his own people. This is seen in a broadcast while addressing the death of one of the commander of IPOB named Akonso. The defendant on 25th day of April 2021 made a broadcast where he stated, and I quote, "Akonso was not killed on the battlefield but was killed in his village in the middle of night. Not on battlefield because of the battlefield, no army or police can defeat him. Ever since Eastern Security Network was launched I have not seen anybody tell me that their life have not improved since it was launched." Around 21 minutes marked, the defendant stated, "Vengeance is a master of appetite, forever blood-tasty never failed. Akonso is in heaven, he is going to be revenged, and by God he will be revenged. All those who had hands in Akonso dead are all dead people working, all of them." He also stated that Akonso will be mourned in a special way just like how the Oba of Benin is buried with human heads. That he said Akonso is more than Oba. Thank you. There is no doubt that this is contained in the broadcast. The defendant's statement was corroborated by PW4, who stated that upon the arrest of one of the IPOB commander named as Onye Army, He informed them that they were only to get 30 heads of humans out of 2,000 head as ordered by the defendant. This court is aware that the said Onye army was not called as a witness in this case, and this may affect the probative value of his evidence. However, the evidence being used as corroboration to the statement made by the defendant himself refer to supporting or additional piece of evidence that supports another evidence. See Ogumbayo and the state citation, where the Supreme Court held, and I quotes, corroboration having been not to be a technical terms of all means, no more than evidence tending to confirm, support and strengthen other evidence sought to be corroborated. This evidence is to be to corroborate the evidence, the statement of the defendant. I must say here that the prosecution witnesses were consistent and calm in the giving of the evidence. Their calm demeanor despite provocative questions under cross-examination justified them to be witness of truth. I carefully observed them, and the only conclusion to reach is that they are witness of truth, and these courts readily believe them. The defendant on the other side, from his attitude in court, was truly very cocky, arrogant. He even stated that no court can convict him. This is a direct affront on the power of the courts, which this court will not take for granted, but will do justice. It is interesting to note that the defendant, who claimed to be a freedom fighter, has even caused more harm to his own people who are predominantly Christian faiths. Can this be said to be agitation for self-determination? Not at all. Agitation for self-determination cannot be to the detriment or to be detrimental to people who are supposed to be beneficiary of that said self-determination. The usual sit at home, or the primary affects his own people of the Southeast. The killing of people who disobey the order are his own people. Holding of closure of churches and schools as well as markets also affect his own people. They are unable to trade, go to school, farm, even worship on such days. The threat of violence and death have prevented these people from going about their legitimate businesses. Are these acts of defendant consistent with the agitation for self-determination? The answer is in the negative. Once again, the defendant was not elected by anybody, also cannot dictate for the people of Southeast, especially through intimidation and threats of violence. He is a terrorist. He must be treated as such. In final analysis, the prosecution has successfully established a 7-count charge against the defendant beyond reasonable doubts. Consequently, he is convicted on all the 7 counts. The next just 30 minutes, I go to the chambers. Anybody is free to come and get a certified true copy of the judgments.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way. Bringing you the news in a more digital way.